I can't imagine, brother.
I'm not going to have a standard Thanksgiving tomorrow, unfortunately. But we'll have the football, so we'll get through it. We got the 3 games. I know I probably won't. And it's a shame because this year they reversed it on our asses. And not that the Falcons are a good team this year, because they're not, but they are playing better lately now. So you got to figure, and it's a divisional game. I figure the Saints and Falcons is actually going to be a decent game. It's going to be entertaining, and normally that third game is a stinker. And with the tryptophan, you're done, normally. You know what I mean? So that's where that's going to be the challenge for me tomorrow night. Although, if I got to figure, if the turkey is not any good, and if it's weak, what I'll do is I probably won't eat any. I won't eat it anymore, and I won't have any tryptophan in my body, and I won't go to sleep. But
so all you need is a box of wine.
Yeah. Well, no wine for me, bro. No, none of that. Unfortunately, it'll be no liquor tomorrow. Unless I was hanging out with some fellas, maybe I would have a beer or something, but. No liquor for me tomorrow. But I just hope I can have some decent turkey tomorrow, because without the old lady in town, I am absolutely screwed for tomorrow. But we'll see.
Well, Friday we got a pretty rough day. Friday, man. Double dip.
That's a great
2
day,
locations. Well, I'm just saying it's a lot to be drinking and stuff like that, and a little bit.
I'm double dipping today, and I'm double dipping on Friday, bro. So it's because tonight we're also on Mad Dog. We're on Serious Mad Dog tonight from 8 to 11. So we'll have a little fun with that tonight as we get ready for a little Thanksgiving. Well, listen, hey, I got a lot to be grateful for. I got a lot to be thankful for. I mean, both of us, Bill. Now we have a job that actually pays us. So it's always good to have a job like that. Because you've had those jobs where they don't pay you, and so that kind of doesn't work out that way. Usually when you labor, you like to get paid to labor. So we're grateful that we labor and get paid now, actually. So that really helps out. So I'm really
extremely
grateful.
Beneficial. Yeah.
Yes. It always helps out to work a couple weeks and have a paycheck there. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But anyway, we will have a little fun tomorrow, and I think I'll put together some kind of a mini podcast or something tomorrow. I'm not going to put too much because it is Thanksgiving. I don't even know. This is our first year doing this. This is our third month, actually, that we're completing, a record third month. And we have no idea what the habits are of downloading right now. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I never expected the response that you guys have given us on the downloads, which has been through the roof. It's been phenomenal, the amount of downloads that we're getting. So we are ecstatic as a team here at the Big O Show that we're able to do this on an everyday basis. But I don't know. Maybe a lot of people tomorrow, because they have time off, they'll be podcasting while they're driving in their cars, running errands, hanging around. Or maybe they're hanging around with their families and watching football, which I think that's what it's going to be. And so maybe we'll put together some kind of a little podcast tomorrow. We do have we do have the Panthers playing tonight at the Capitals at 7 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, our beloved Miami Heat are taking on the Rockets. That is going to be a lot of fun tonight at 8 o'clock to watch that one. I'll be on the air while the game is going on, so that'll be a little frustrating that I won't be able to enjoy the game at the same time. But, hey, it's all right. I'll be able to watch it and get through and have a little fun with that. So we've got that to talk about tomorrow on the podcast, and then anything else that breaks or anything throughout the day. We did have some news where Jakeem Grant is going to be placed on the IR. He's got a high ankle injury. I would imagine that in week 13 now that we're at, they felt the little guy wasn't it's not – high ankle sprain is going to keep you out so many weeks that by the time he's healthy, the season's over. No need to risk at this point. He's under contract. He's a future player for you. Move on.
You
the
have
same thing as X.
you have a lot of firsthand knowledge on those high ankle sprains, I believe, sir.
Yes, I have.
Would you have a few?
I've had several. Yes, and playing basketball. Yeah, I got my right ankle. I can just go like this, and all you hear is it's my wife. I freak my wife out all the time because I'll be, and everything will be quiet, and then I'll just get my ankle, and quietly I'll just go like this, and you'll hear and she'll go, "Stop that! Ew, that's gross. Stop it! Stop it! Doesn't that hurt?" I'm like, "No, it's just. What can I tell you? It's just the damage that's inside that ankle. I don't know what's in there."
Are you trying to create bone spurs or something, man?
I don't know what it.
Because that's rubbing. That's what that is.
I have no idea what it is, but all I know is that my right ankle can make all kinds of noises, bro. And I never went to a doctor for it. Well, no, that's not true. Actually, I did in one of them. That it was, the ankle was, balled up like a freaking mango. And so I had to, we took it and he did the x-rays and he was like, well, you got to give it rest. And when the swelling's down, then we'll check it out more. And once the swelling was down, I was walking. I'm like, I'm done. I'm not going to go check it out. And so it is what it is. But I've bent that one so many times. Luckily, thank the Lord, I never broke it. Knock on
Didn't
wood.
you end up getting like an ankle brace for that thing? It was so messed up.
Yes, I had it. Yeah, because for a while, because it's high ankle, they gave me a brace that it would go. You would put it inside your shoe. It would loop under the sole. So then you'd put your weight on it, and then it'd go alongside the ankle, and then around the high part of the ankle, you'd have a what's it called? A Velcro that you'd wrap around tight, and then that's it. And then the ankle would, obviously have way more stability, and that helped out. Yeah, I wore that for years. Even after it was healthy, I kept wearing.
I can remember every time we went to play ball, especially a full court game, were, give me a minute.
Let me put my brace
strap
on, dude.
up.
Hells to the man. I mean, when you've twisted it as many times as I have, forget. My ankle tendon is probably like the stuff that Will Carroll talks about with the kid from the Jags. What's his name? The LSU kid. That Fournette.
Fournette. I'm sorry,
yes.
Fournette.
Yeah, you're thinking video games.
Yes.
And apparently his ankle ligament is stretched out to the point that it's not as stable. And I think they did some kind of a procedure to tighten it up or something like that. I probably need that. Now, I don't really need it because I'm not an athlete or anything like that, so I really don't need it. But if I was, I probably would need something like that. Yeah, that's enough of the ankle talk. Anyway, so if you guys want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's really simple, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. At noon, Benjamin Albright is going to join us. And Benjamin, it works out in Denver, covering the Broncos, covering the NFL, but he's also like a draft insider, actually. And we're really going to be talking quarterback draft with him. Get his thoughts on all the QBs, get his thoughts on Tua, all the kind of things that Dolph fans are really clamoring for. And I figured, on a week like this where we've got Thanksgiving weekend, we're at the three-quarter pole. We've completed the three-quarter pole of the season. We've got the last quarter left of the season. All right, let's see where he's at with the quarterbacks and maybe some under the radar guys that could be there. We gotta. I am going to find out about under the radar guys too, because if you cannot get Tua or Burrows, then you're going to have to try to look for an under-the-radar guy because you'll be building the rest of your team, which, by the way, I'd love for them to get the quarterback, okay, first and foremost, of course. But I don't want them to force the issue either. And I don't want you to draft a quarterback to just draft a quarterback because you desperately need a quarterback. You get the quarterback if you have conviction that you're going to turn the guy into a player for you, okay? You draft a guy with, if you don't, then draft the defensive lineman, draft the offensive lineman with conviction. Okay? I got no problem with that. And for those of you that might think offensive linemen are boring, watch what happens to our offense without offensive linemen. Okay? We see it all around the league. You don't even have to be a great quarterback. You can be a decent quarterback, a middle of the ring quarterback, and if you have a good line in front of you, it's going to allow you to at least be effective. Now, in big-time games, in playoff games, when you're facing other elite quarterbacks, that'll be a problem. Of course. You want an elite quarterback fighting against another elite quarterback. You don't want to put all the weight of the world on your defense and your running game to have to win it, and special teams. It's happened before, i.e. Peyton Manning. He could barely throw the ball. Peyton Manning was the worst quarterback in the history of the Super Bowl. Nobody worse than Peyton Manning. Trent Dilfer was 1,000 times better than that Peyton Manning. Okay? So you can do it. Now, you got to build one incredible team. But what I don't want from the Dolphins is that you just draft a quarterback to draft a quarterback. No. And if you build a hell of a line, even Josh Rosen will be better next year. And I get it. Plenty of people have given up on Josh Rosen, and with all reason they have right now, because he didn't impress you in Arizona, as terrible as that situation was. And he had some moments, but not enough to impress you here with the Dolphins, in also a very difficult situation. I'm not ready to give up on the kid. I'd like to see him in a better situation next year and see what he does. In a perfect world, I'd love to see them draft a quarterback, whether it's Burrow or Tua or whatever it is that you end up drafting, and open the competition between him and Rosen. That's what I would love to see, personally. To me, that's what would make a lot of sense right now. But we'll see how it all works out. So we'll talk to Benjamin Albright at noon. We'll have a little fun with him. Andy Behrens is going to join us, and it's going to be a dual threat type of thing with Andy Behrens this week. We're going to talk fantasy basketball because normally Wednesdays at 1 o'clock, it'll be fantasy basketball. Normally Fridays at 1:30, it's fantasy football. But Andy Behrens will not be joining us this Friday because it is Thanksgiving weekend, and he's going to do stuff with the family. And hey, man, that's all good. So he'll join us today at 1 o'clock. If you have any fantasy football questions, send them in on the YouTube chat board, on Twitter, at Big O Show, DM, because a lot of you like to use the DM for the Twitter, for the fantasy questions, or on the accidentlawfirm.com text line at 786-322-1105 there on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. So if you want to get those fantasy basketball, fantasy football questions out to Andy Behrens for 1 o'clock, you can do that. And at 2, Michelle Kaufman will be joining us for her Inter Miami football report. We'll have a little fun with Michelle there. Maybe we got some news coming up with the coach and anything else that she has dug up already. And maybe we'll ask a little UM basketball with her because she's always on top of that situation. So you've got all of that going on. And again, we're out here at Caneswear. All right, 2511 South University Drive. We'll be out here till about 3 o'clock. If you want to come on out and say hi, we'd really appreciate it. I'd love to meet you out there. So if you're in the Davie area, you're enjoying your day off. I know I got up and I'm looking around and everybody else is sleeping. And I'm like, this is awesome. This is super awesome. You know what? I feel blessed anyway. I feel blessed that I can do this morning.
Cruising into work, there's no doubt that there are a lot of people that are off today.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. But I'm glad to be doing this on this Wednesday. And even tomorrow, it's Thanksgiving. I'll take some time, go to the studio, and put together a little podcast and put together a small show for you guys.
Go to the studio, walk across the hall, and
upstairs. Upstairs. It's an effort. Okay, I got to take a flight of steps, and put together a show. Because, we'll have some stuff go on tonight, so we'll do that for tomorrow. I'm grateful that I'll be able to do that. And, hey, listen, tonight I'll be on Mad Dog. If you happen to be hanging around, you want to listen to Channel 82 from 8 to 11 tonight, we'll be doing a little Mad Dog action for a couple of hours. There you go. So I'm still with Mad Dog. The only thing is I don't do permanent dates anymore. I can't, with this now and the way it's growing, thank you, I don't need to do it. You know what I mean? It's a buddy of mine reached out to me, and he goes, "Hey, I heard you're back on radio." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Somebody heard you," and it was like, I think they said 790 or something like that, or 560. And I'm like, "No, man, there's no way I'll be back on radio. There's no shot I'm doing radio anymore." Okay, if it's up to me, I'm doing this from here on out. I have the freedom I want from now on. I'm at a point in my life that I just don't want to deal with the BS anymore. I'm just not going to deal with the BS. I don't have to deal with the BS anymore. And if I have to, then I'm going to go into another career. You know what I mean? And that's why I wanted to give this a go, because look, you can never succeed if you fear failure. And that's one thing that I said, all right, look, I love to do radio. And this is the modern way of doing radio nowadays. So many people are podcasting. So many of you are choosing better to listen on your own time and those kind of things. And I said, hey, Bill, let's try this. Let's see if it works out. And it's worked out beautifully. Sponsors are loving it. Listeners are loving it. They're loving the on-demand stuff. Is the thing, and here's the fun part. What's pretty cool about this is that some of you and me are kind of getting used to this, because now I'm getting used to doing shows as a podcast, right? And some of you have never really done this kind of stuff. Some of you have made this switch over for us, like you would listen to us on radio. And now that we're not on a typical radio, you got to learn how to podcast. You got to learn how to download. And I appreciate those of you that are taking that venture, because a lot of people, this is kind of a new frontier for a lot of people, and it's a new way of doing things, because we've been doing it with TV now for a while. It started with the DVR. Well, it actually started with the VHS and the beta, when you could record without being there. And then you get home and you would watch it on your time. That's on demand. And then we got to a DVR. And now we're at the apps and all that stuff, like The Mandalorian. I don't watch it on television. I watch it on Disney Plus. I know it'll drop on Friday. So I will go to Disney Plus on Friday night, and I will watch the 4th episode, or the 4th chapter, like they like to put, of The Mandalorian. And it's a different world now. It's an on-demand world. And this has become something that, this is, for me, I'm getting spoiled, actually. And think about it. I'm sitting here with them, and we're planning our trips to the East West and the Senior Bowl and the Combine. And we're going to do the draft. We got one more that we're trying to set up, but I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to say anything, because we've got to get everything, all the ducks in place, sponsorships, all of that. But we're trying to do everything, something that we can't do on radio. And I mean, right now, it's 11:20. Bill, we got on the air at 10:50, right, or something like that? Was it 10:50 or 10 something?
We got on the air exactly at 10:56.
Okay, so we've done 24 straight minutes of talk right now. You can't do that on regular. I would have already had to take 2 breaks. For 24 minutes of talk, I would have had to already given you 12 minutes of commercials.
And another 8 minutes, you would have done an hour of radio.
Exactly, yeah. And a lot of you are also noticing that you don't have to go to a break. I'll have a mention, obviously, because we have to have sponsors. We all have to do. we do have to make some money, right? We do have bills and we do have families and we have to support ourselves, right? I do have to buy my medicine so I can survive for the rest of my life. Bill, you got to buy some medicine too. We got to buy some food, so we do got to make a little bit of money that's all we want, just a little bit of money to get by. We're not looking to get rich. And this is the kind of freedom that I've never had. And we're going to have a setup at the Senior Bowl and the East-West that I've never had either before, because be in a window of 2 or 3 or 4 hours that we could broadcast and then we're done. Now we can be set up all day, and we're not going to be broadcasting for stretches of hours now, but it'll be stretches of maybe a half hour, an hour, and then we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back, and we'll do another half hour, an hour, and we'll do a couple guests, and that's how we're going to do things at the Senior Bowl and the Combine. Now, during a day, we might give you 5-7 hours of programming, which is a lot of programming, you know what I mean? And we're going to be able to give you all kinds of draft picks, because now I don't care. Now I don't have to fight the program director because this guy might be a 7th rounder or a 6th rounder, because I know he's going to be a 7th or a 6th rounder. But I still want to interview him because he might be interesting and he might become a Miami Dolphin. And
I'm pretty sure that within the draft you're going to go to the undrafted people,
also,
okay?
Yes.
I know you. I know you.
Yes, because I'll tell you, hey, this is a kid I like. He might be at the end of the draft, or because really a 6th or 7th rounder, an undrafted
street guy.
Yeah, an undrafted guy and a 6th and 7th rounder. There really is no difference, ladies and gentlemen. There really isn't. It's minuscule. It's hairs, because the guy you're drafting in the 6th and 7th round and undrafted, they have all kinds of warts. That's why they fell, because they've got all kinds of, they're either too short, they're too skinny, they're lazy, they've got off-the-field issues, they ran too slow, they have an injury history, whatever it is. There's something that is why they're down there. And they're all the same. And it might be a guy that I just like. That's all. And yeah, I'll bring him on because it might be interesting and he might end up on our football team, because it's a position of need. It's a player that maybe has a skill set that fits what the Dolphins do. So if I know that, then why not interview him? And it might turn out to be a good interview. It might turn out to be a bad interview. You never know also with that, but that's the game that you play. But that's what I love is I'm so excited about all of this, because now our website's about to be done. We have a website up now if you go to BigORadioshow.com, but it's kind of this sound check page, and it's not even finished, but that'll be a second page. The real page that's going to be in the front is almost, I'll see it on Friday, actually. They're going to show it to me on Friday, and it might be up in the next couple days after that. But we're going to be able to put up all that audio and video on the site. And now you're going to be able to go back to it as much as you can, something that they didn't do. And now that it's corporate run more than ever, I wouldn't have been I would have had to pay my way to go to those things, which we're doing now, but we're doing it obviously through the business, which is a whole different ballgame. And by the way, I was there yesterday at Murias Dental, which a proud sponsor of our program. They are the implant and Invisalign experts. I am going to get Invisalign. I got them measured yesterday, got the teeth cleaned yesterday. I got to get some of my teeth in the bottom, in the middle there, straightened out. I guess 53 kind of get a little crooked there, so I'm going to do the Invisalign, and they are experts at that. And they've been doing it for a long time. Eric and his staff are awesome. So take advantage, by the way, of your insurance benefits for 2019, because maybe you can do some crowns, some stuff now. You finish off your benefits, and then you can start again in 2020 because nothing rolls over, right? You want to start all over again. Don't leave that money on the table. Go to Murias Dental, 305-821-0231. Call Eric and his staff, MuriasDental.com. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Murias Dental.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank, your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
Welcome back.
This is the Big O Show.
Yes, it is. We are at Caneswear right here at 2511 South University Drive in Davie. Every single month we broadcast out here. Brett and all the great people make it nice and easy for us to broadcast out here. And we'll be out here till about 3 o'clock. So if you want to come by and say hi, we really would appreciate it. Love to meet you folks. As always, always grateful for your support, your amazing support for us here on the show. We will have Benjamin Albright will be joining us at noon here at the top of the hour. We'll talk to Benjamin and we'll get his thoughts on quarterbacks coming into the NFL draft. He's got a situation now in Denver in his backyard because Drew Lock is a kid that's about to get his opportunity there. Drew Lock is one of those guys that intrigued me last year. I like Drew Lock. A little erratic, but I thought that as a project, he's one of those guys I would take a stab at in the middle rounds, and they did. I forgot what round they took Drew Lock in, but it's a worthy gamble because he's got an NFL arm. If somehow or another you can, fine-tune everything, then maybe you might have yourself something. But he's got the ability that I would have taken a chance on him in the middle rounds. That's I'm not taking him in the first round or a high second round or something like that. But definitely a guy that is worthy of that. I want to say it was third or fourth rounds that they got him. I got to look it up now, and I'll tell you what they did and how they got him. But that's how when you're the Dolphins, that's what I was telling you before, you can't be desperate. So you take a guy that maybe is a little bit more of a project later on. He's got upside, but you're not also taking a risk on a guy with a high pick when he is not ready. That's where you find yourself and you put yourself in a really difficult situation. So we'll see. Anyway, if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. All right, they took him late second round. Not bad. That's not bad. Late second round's not bad. I wouldn't take him high second. Late second, a little bit, but that's all right. That's not too bad. I thought it was more of a third or fourth, but late second's not too bad. He's got a lot of ability, man. Although John Elway has had no luck whatsoever with quarterbacks. He has not been able to find it. It's amazing how a guy that played the position cannot actually figure out that position as a draft pick. He can't make a good selection because anybody can sign Peyton Manning. That doesn't take a genius whatsoever. Any of you could have done that. Bill could have done that. Anybody could have done that inside Caneswear. They could have signed Peyton Manning. That doesn't take a genius there. Let's see, what else do we have to talk about? Heat tonight. Jimmy Butler and James Johnson are both sick. There's some flu bug or something going around with the Heat, and Jimmy and James have got it. They're both questionable for tonight. Derrick Jones Jr. is out. Justice Winslow is listed as probable now for his return. I would imagine that he's coming off the bench. Okay, I'm just saying. That's probably the best thing for him. He's not probably in game shape. He's not a scorer, and he hurts you in that area, but he is a glue guy. And you need Justice Winslow because defensively, like on a night like tonight, this is when you need Justice. You need him to help you get stops. He is great at setting others up, facilitating. He is great at rebounding for his position. He does a lot of good things. He's not ever going to be a great scorer. He's not ever going to be a great finisher around the rim. I think we've kind of all figured that out already by now. He could try. He's worked on it, bless him, but it's just not that much better. And you either have it or you don't. Really. It's if you have it, you'll be able to bring it out of you. But if you don't, you can try to force it all you want, but it's just not going to happen. And Winslow, I would imagine, is going to be a bench guy. I would use him as a bench guy moving forward because having Duncan Robinson and those kind of guys in the lineup just gives you more explosiveness. And considering the team you're playing, you need to score points. And they're not a team that plays defense either. So Miami will have opportunities to put some points on the board tonight like they have the last two times they've played Houston, whether it's in the preseason or the regular season matchup that they won a few weeks back. 12-4, visiting 11-6. Houston is 6-2 at home. The Heat are 5-4 on the road. While they're undefeated at home, they are just over 500 on the road, which is pretty good. Okay, if you can be over 500 on the road and dominate at home, you are going to win a lot of games. Okay? You'll be winning 2/3 of your games probably. You'll be somewhere in that 50s range if you can do something like that. And right now they're on pace to do that. The Panthers have lost 2 in a row. Interesting to see where their psyche is. They're visiting one freaking hell of a team in the Capitals. Put it this way, they're 16-4-5, and the Cats are 12-7-5. Okay? That's all you need to know how good the Capitals are. Well, they're a Stanley Cup champion 2 years removed, and they still have one monster team, as the record indicates. We'll see how Florida bounces back because you also don't want to go into a tailspin. After a good start, you don't want to start losing momentum. You need to come up. I'm not saying it's a must-win because we're way too early in a season for a must-win, and they've gained a lot of points already early on, that they're not in a must-win situation by any stretch, okay? But you want to have a great performance tonight. Even if you come up short, but you want to feel good about yourself when you come off the ice. You say, okay, we played a hell of a game, but we lost to a great team. And I think a lot of us would be very understandable with something like that. We'll find out what happens tonight, and we'll talk a little bit about it tomorrow on the program. Oh, I forgot to mention the Rockets will not be at full strength. Nene Hilario, who's constantly injured anyway, is out tonight. Eric Gordon and Gerald Green also are out tonight. We never really found out what Gerald Green was on that day, huh? How the Heat kept that quiet. I mean, they always keep most things quiet. The Dion stuff that got out, props to Slater for getting that. He did a nice job breaking that story and getting that nugget, because you really rarely ever get anything from the Heat. Eric Gordon, who can score and can shoot, will be out for Houston tonight with Hilario and Green. So they are missing a couple of guys there. Capella is questionable tonight. He's got an illness. So Houston not coming into this game 100% also. And Miami, since they're not coming in 100%, and you were maybe a little worried about it, which you shouldn't be worried about it, because this is a team that the other night, to me, was an aberration. And they proved it with their performance against Charlotte. And I think tonight you'll see another awesome performance by the Miami Heat. I'm not telling you that they're going to win, but I'm telling you they're going to ball out. I really believe that. Ooh, a little quarter flash they're playing here. I like that. Nice.
They had Night Ranger going on. Do you dream about me before?
Yeah. But I hear Night Ranger still all the time, because I like Night Ranger, and I have it in my quarter flash. I have it, but I haven't jammed her in a while. You know what I mean? So,
you know, the last time I heard quarter flash, watching the movie Night Shift, the opening song, quarter flash did that song.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
On the Night Shift.
Okay, I didn't know that. All right, I thought that was like, wasn't it what's Night Shift? Is it the OJs, the Temptations? Who's saying Night Shift? Remember that song,
On
Night
the
Shift?
Night Shift.
Yeah. Or is that the Commodores? I think it's the Commodores. I want to say, look it up, Night Shift. I want to say the song Night Shift is by the Commodores. Now that I'm thinking about it.
On the Night Shift.
Yeah. Yeah, something. Well, it's not kind of like, it's not, I don't know if it was that hokey the way it went, but yeah, it was, it's more of an R&B type feel. You kind of kept it, you gave it that, I don't know, poppy feel to it. But I want to say it's the Commodores, actually.
It's what it says.
Okay, I think I was right, yeah. I knew it was one of the R&B acts, but I finally got it on my third one. Anyway, if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's really simple, folks. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the program, as we take you, of course, till about 3. At the top of the hour, Benjamin Albright is going to join us. We will have a little fun with Benjamin, and we'll talk NFL draft with him. We'll get into the quarterbacks, because obviously that is one of those subjects that a lot of us want to talk about. And he works for KOA Colorado, and he covers the NFL, covers the Broncos there, and so he's also a big draft guy. So we'll have a little fun with him, and we'll ask him about what would he do with Tua. Would he still draft Tua? And if he would, where would he draft Tua? Where would he select Tua? What part of the draft? There's a lot of people that still would take him early. There's some people that would take him later on in the first round. There's some people that say second round and on. There's some people that say stay away from him. I personally would not take him with the first 2 picks in the first round. I wouldn't take him in the first round if I was a team with only 1 first-round pick. But the Dolphins have 3 first-round picks. I would take him with the last first-round pick as a gamble. Preferably, I'd take him in the second round and on. That's where I would like to, because sadly, I don't have a lot of hope for the kid. I'm sorry to be negative about it, but I gave up on him the week before the hip injury. I just think he's an injury-prone player. and they scare the crap out of me. But he can pass the crap out of the ball, so take the chance, because if somehow or another he can stay healthy and I'm proven wrong, which happens all the time, then we're good.
I will say this. Last week, you were all about second round only.
Yes.
Now he's creeped up to the third pick in the first round.
Yeah, I give him.
He's
No,
creeped up.
Well, I was. It is second round still. In the Dolphins' case,
okay,
because
right.
they
yes.
have three
Because
first
of three.
rounders.
Okay.
If you were a team with only one, like I said, definitely second round and on. There is no way if I only have one first round pick, I'm spending it on a guy that has a bad hip and is constantly injured, has 4 operations in 2 years at the lower level of football. Okay? He's going from college to the NFL where they're bigger, stronger, and faster, and they hit harder and they play a lot more. And you're going to ask a guy that's not durable to last in a longer and more brutal season? Get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
okay?
That's not very good logic.
No, dude, no.
Sorry.
I watched the NFL break down Tim Tebow, and they gave him a punctured lung and broken ribs, and Cam Newton, and they made Andrew Luck cry and retire from the pain and suffering from every year of getting injured and rehabbing and hurting. And you think there is no way in my mind that I think Tua stays healthy. No way.
So why is he even in your first round as the third pick?
Because he can pass the hell out of the ball.
It's worth the risk.
Exactly. Like that, like I've told you guys before, whether it's the Drew Lock pick for Denver, I understand it in the second round. I understand Chad Henne in the second round. I understand certain things when you can take a chance on them. And if it works out, fine. It's a quarterback. It's not any other position. Quarterback's different, man. You don't reach for one. You don't go desperation for one and take Blaine Gabbert top 5 or Ryan Tannehill top 10. You don't do any of that stuff. That's stupid. But I do understand a project and later on in the draft or injury history or something. But because it's the quarterback, and if you do hit on him, but I think he's Sam Bradford. That's what I think, unfortunately. And Sam kind of was like him, can pass the hell out of the ball. Sam was an accurate passer at Oklahoma. That's why he went so high, because he was deadly accurate. But unfortunately, he was deadly fragile. And the guy, Humpty Dumpty, okay, was way more durable than Sam Bradford. They could never put Sam Bradford back together again. I think they were. Were they able to put Humpty Dumpty back together again? Was it?
Couldn't. All the King's
tried.
horses
They tried.
And all
They
the
couldn't.
King's
Right?
men could not put Humpty Dumpty back together.
Oh, okay,
again.
so there you go. So that's right. So
stayed
look at
fractured.
that. So Bradford and Humpty Dumpty could not be put back together again.
Here's an idea, because they have these braces for the knees and this and that. Just get to a full body brace.
There you go. Why not? Have him in full body armor. I don't know how he'll get that arm all the way around and throwing the ball, but hey, what the hell? Hey, listen, those knights used to fight with all kinds of stuff with the full body armor, right? Well, then, you know what, Tua? Suck it up, dude. Wear the full body armor. That's what we should do to all our quarterbacks. We should put them all in that foam. In that game where they're all in that ball foam and they're all running around and kicking the soccer ball and they run into each other, but they're covered with foam, so nothing happens to them. Maybe that's what we should do to our quarterbacks. That way they'd never get injured. I love it.
You've seen the shots of those people in those balls running and like they
It's
bounce.
awesome.
No, but
It's hilarious.
Look, let me tell you, that is not true, because the inertia in your body, your brain is still moving forward and crashes into your skull. So sorry, you're still getting repercussions and ramifications.
I think they even have a helmet on.
Well, even if you have a helmet on, your brain inside
shaking.
gets slammed up against your skull. Yeah, man.
But it's not. But it's the kind of impact.
Sorry, man.
That impact's not the same.
Yes, but there's still nonetheless
It's
a sudden stop.
Those bubbles are absorbing most of
It
the.
absorbs, but your brain still continues because it's in fluid, man.
It's nothing like it is in football, dude. Where you're
No, of
actually
course, dude.
taking
Of course
the
not.
punishment.
I'm just saying, don't think for a second that there isn't like whiplash, like when you smack your head, that your brain bouncing around inside your skull. That's what it is.
I don't know.
It isn't the hit.
You're kind of trapped in there. I don't think you can really bounce around too much, actually.
No, but what I'm talking about, when you're moving forward and you
No, I
come
get
to a
it.
stop,
I get it.
stuff still continues to move forward.
Yeah. I get
Your
that.
brain isn't just like
Yeah,
right up.
but with
there's
that,
an-
you're going a little overboard
There-
with those bubbles. The
Dude,
bubbles aren't that bad.
It's still, you are going to have effects. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I doubt it's anything that's to be worried about. Not like a real event, not like a real sporting event, not like soccer when you're hitting the ball with your head. That's the kind of stuff that you will be much more impactful than hanging out with bubbles.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying that don't think for a second that there aren't. There is still some inertia. You're moving forward. You're coming to a sudden stop. There's gonna be something's got to give.
Yeah, I get that, brother, but that's an overreaction. That's for Mondays on ESPN. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the program. 786-322-1105 if you're watching on YouTube, and we thank you. As always, spread the word. Follow us on YouTube. Tell the others. You can get on our chat board there on the YouTube chat board if you want to say anything, complain about something, insult, question, whatever it is, even a compliment. We'll accept those too. George is chiming in with a little good morning. We thank you, George. Appreciate you chiming in. As always, you can reach out to us also on Twitter at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. On Instagram, Big O Radio Show 2 is the other way that you can reach out to us. Dolphins, what are they going to do now, huh? I mean, they got themselves an interesting stretch coming up. They got to finish up this season. They are trying to finish up as much as they can in 100 pieces because players keep falling by the wayside. Jakeem Grant now placed on the IR, which the signing the other day for a returner was pretty important. And they've been using the great Kalen Ballage also for returns, which you got to feel good about that, right? That Kalen Ballage is there running and returning, which that's the other thing. I hope Coach Flores was just playing the psychological game on Monday with us with Kalen Ballage. Because there is no way in your right mind that you could think that Kalen Ballage is the guy you should be starting at this point after watching him for a couple of games. And I believe our boy has got one more. I can't imagine you're going to give him one more start because he hasn't earned. Our boy has not earned one more start. It should be Patrick Laird now at this point starting. It should be Myles Gaskins also playing a lot. It should be that Kalen Ballage is getting little to no carries at this point. Maybe you want to use him for short yardage, fine. But find out what you got in Laird. Because our boy has not earned one more of anything.
I got to think the way he handled the situation with Drake, what he did letting Mark Walton get the carries he got, I got to think that that's going to continue that pattern, right? He sees
sees it. But the other guys were productive. The other guys were doing something.
No, that's what I'm saying. Laird's been more productive than Ballage.
Oh, okay.
He's got to see that, right?
Yeah,
and
you would hope.
He saw it a couple times. He's made moves.
I still believe it's what I said on Monday when he said it on the press conference. I think he's just playing the mind game. And he's not going to tell you right away that he's benching BiG because then he'll lose BiG. And because he doesn't have a lot of players left, he's got to keep them focused and mentally in it. So maybe he goes into that meeting room and says, competition's open. Everybody's going to be getting a part of it. Not, hey, I'm going to start using Laird more. Kalen, you're going to be used less. Now you lose Kalen. And maybe he also knows that Kalen's not a guy that handles that very well. So he is kind of, going easy on it, and he'll let it play out in the game. Whereas Patrick Laird is outplaying him, he'll keep giving him, and then he can look at Kalen and say, this guy's outplaying you. I got to play him. And that's it. And then you're not doing it publicly. You're not embarrassing him, which is what he avoided on Monday. So you have the respect of the player. And overall, in that locker room, you will lose respect if you start complaining about playing time when everybody sees you're getting outplayed by the other guy. Because those guys in the locker room will tell you, yo, man, Patrick's outplaying your ass. So stop complaining. Stop being a little whiny bitch or whatever. They'll pick on each other like that. We don't see it, but that happens behind the scenes. Nobody knows more what's going on and who can play and who can't than the players more often than not. That's why coaches play Ryan Fitzpatrick, because he's playing Ryan Fitzpatrick right now because he knows he's going to have the attention of the locker room more with Ryan Fitzpatrick than with Josh Rosen. If he puts Josh Rosen in, the team knows that the kid is not ready. I mean, he just learned how to call out the middle linebacker. So he's still trying to figure out and decipher defenses. And players know that. And they see the game film, and they see the struggles, and they see everybody pointing out everything that went wrong with every phase of the game, offense, defense, special teams. So they start Ryan Fitzpatrick. Why do you think in Cincinnati they went back to Andy Dalton? Because the coach knew, damn, man, we've been close in some of these games, but we don't have the guy to get us over the top. And I might start losing this locker room because certain guys know that Andy Dalton at least is not a great quarterback, but gives us the better chance to win over Ryan Finley. And notice that when they broke that story, I heard I think it was Schefter. I heard Schefter say, "Hey, they're putting, Andy Dalton back because they want to avoid 0-16. They want to win a game." And that tells you all you need to know about how important it is for these teams, these coaches, these players not to have that O mark next to their record. They want to win a game or two. They don't want to be 0-16. They don't want that badge because it's not a badge of honor. And that's why you see those kind of things, because you want to win the locker room over. The coach has to play that mind game. And maybe that's what Flores was doing on Monday. He was playing the mind game of, I know you guys see what I see. Patrick Laird has outplayed him. But I can't tell you publicly right now that I like Patrick Laird over him and he's earned the right to be the starter. But next week or this week, watch Patrick Laird get more playing time and have success. And then after the press conference, after he's proven it on the field to you, to himself, to the coach, to his teammates, and everybody else viewing, he can then stand in that podium and say, yeah, Patrick had a terrific performance this week. We're going to start giving him the nod going forward. He's earned that. And then you can't argue. Right now, it's kind of still in the background because they haven't given Laird enough carries to say, you're the guy. Even though you, me, Bill, everybody else sees from preseason till now, Laird's body of work is so much more impressive than Kalen Balage's. So why not give him that playing time? We'll see. I think this is the week where he earns that on the field, and then officially he can move on. Or maybe it's Myles Gaskins. I don't know. But I kind of feel like Kalen's going to take that step back this week. If he doesn't, That's a shame because then that's a mistake by Brian Flores.
Let's face it, anything would be better than what Balaj has done. Okay? Bottom line. That's the facts.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a lot of people that feel that if Andy Dalton would have started the last 2 games for Cincinnati, that they would have came away with victories.
Maybe.
And considering the score.
Maybe.
And the teams they were up against.
16-10 last week. Maybe.
Yeah, 16-10, and I think the week before was 17-10.
Yeah, maybe.
It was a 7. I got to think.
It's a possibility.
Andy Dalton's worth 10 points, at least 10 points.
It all depends on which Andy Dalton you're getting, but maybe you might be right. It's a possibility. It's not a sure thing, but it's a possibility.
That totally changes this perspective of where we're at and what we're looking at.
Yeah.
This 2-game difference right now, this, and like you pointed out, the last couple of days, the schedule they have left, they're not going to make up. You know, we're not going to be able to make up that ground.
No.
Forget about it.
No way. No way. That I don't think is going to end up happening. All right, if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, and we're out here at Canesware at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, as you see the sign behind me. And, folks, they have got doorbuster deals going on, the big Black Friday sales event. They're going to have up to 70% off. So come on out this weekend here to Canesware, and we'll be out here till 3 o'clock if you want to come on by. Another proud sponsor of our program is Toyota of Hollywood. We love talking about Steve Ostrov and all the great people at Toyota of Hollywood. The #1 official volume Toyota dealership, the best Toyota dealership on the planet, folks. Over 1,500 Toyotas in stock and on sale right now during the Ultimate 2019 Model Year Changeover event. Yes, sir, and they can make your payments until 2020. They've got special introductory savings on 2020 models also. They've got 2019 models. They've got 0% factory financing. Get on down to 1841 North State Road 7. Tell them that Big O sent you. Herbie Lopez, all the great people out there will take care of you at ToyotaofHollywood.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show.
All right, welcome back. I got to tell you, Caneswear, it is. They got a checker set with like UM helmets, and then on the other side it's FSU helmets or Florida helmets.
I have a good one. I have orange and white, and they're all Canes.
That's
okay.
That's where I would have liked that they should have had a home and away helmet of Canes, because if it's two Canes fans playing each other, nobody's going to want to be the Seminoles or the Gators.
You're never going to get to play checkers.
No, exactly. So yeah, but
I have the one that's white and orange. You want to play?
Yeah, they have so many. They have so many things there. It's just amazing, and they've got all kinds of stuff. We got the holidays coming up, shirts and hats and license tags and pop-ups for your phone. That stuff that the kids put in the back, which maybe I should get one for mine. A UM pop-up, everything. They've got the glasses, the shades. I've had these for a while. I bought these like, I don't know, 8 months ago or something like that, maybe a year ago. I don't know. It's been a while. But they've got all kinds of stuff. They've got sales going on here at Caneswear, up to 70% off. So looking forward to it.
Oh, we got Ben Albright for you, sir.
All right, we are ready to rock and roll. Benjamin Albright. You can, of course, follow him on Twitter at Albright NFL. Benjamin is kind enough to join us. You can catch him at KOA in Denver doing his thing. Mr. Albright, good morning, sir, because it is morning for you still over there. Do we have him? Wait a minute. Hold on. How we doing? Now, can you hear me? Here we go.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I got you, baby. There we go. It's a beautiful thing. All right, follow Benjamin on Twitter at Albright NFL. Hey, I saw you were tweeting about Locke. So what do you think ends up happening with the Broncos? When does the kid debut?
Well, it could be as soon as this weekend. I talked to a couple players this week. They all seem to think he's going to be the guy, unless the coaching staff talks themselves out of it. But no later than the Lions game, but it could be as early as this weekend. And like I said, the players at this point, they're pretty sure that it's going to be this weekend.
I had two project guys I liked in the middle rounds. One was Jarrett Stidham, and the other guy was Drew Lock. I thought both those guys, especially with Stidham, when I saw him at the Senior Bowl, I was really impressed with him. And I thought he was one of those cats that had the goods to be a player in the league. Now, does he turn into one? Well, we don't know. With Locke, I thought so too, man. I thought I saw NFL arm in that kid. I know that, at times it's a little erratic. What do you hear about him? What are they working on? What do they say he's improved? Why do they think he might be ready to start? Give us that info.
Well, he's been on the injured reserve. First half of the season, he banged his thumb up. But Drew Lock is one of those guys that's shown progression with every practice, with every game. If you go back and watch the preseason games, that first game wasn't all that great. But, as the preseason wore on and the game slowed down for a minute, he starts to get it. He's just one of those guys who's hyper-consumed with learning, not making the same mistake twice. And he understands that he comes out of an offense at Missouri that's not exactly prepared him for the pro game. So he's buckled down and tried to do extra study while he was injured, to include buying and purchasing a virtual reality set and allowing him to do some virtual reality practice while he was on the IR.
Wow, that's pretty good stuff. Were you a fan of his when he got drafted? Did you think that was a good pick?
Well, yes, and actually, I was hopeful they would take him. Funny story, the day before the draft, or 2 days before the draft, ESPN was filming these prospects path to the draft thing that they do down there. We were all there in Nashville. I actually sat between him and Stidham while they were getting their haircut. We were all getting haircuts at the Pioneer. Got a chance to talk to them, and both those guys are just high wattage personalities. They're the kids that get it, and I really hope that they succeed at the NFL level so people can kind of see those personalities shine through.
Oh, so you were a Stidham guy guy too? You liked him also?
Yeah, big fan of his. Buddy of mine, coworker of mine who passed on, the legendary Herb Brown. His son, Greg Brown, was DB's coach at Auburn there and told me to keep an eye on Stidham and said that he was going to be something in the league. So.
Yeah, I was, as a Dolphin fan, I was just pissed that New England ended up taking him, and maybe Belichick got his guy again after having to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. All right, Benjamin, I know you follow the draft too, and here in Miami, it's just like Elway trying to find that QB, and they're hoping that they found it in Drew Lock down the line. First of all, how are you looking at the Tua situation? If you're the Miami Dolphins, you've got 3 first-round picks. Which first-round pick would you spend on him, or are you passing on him and you think he's more of a second-round pick and on because of the injury history?
Well, I think you got to look at that injury history for sure, and you have to have your medical staff go over with a fine-tooth comb. And if they give you the okay, then you go ahead and spend the top pick that you got if you're convinced he's your guy. If you're not convinced he's your guy, then just pass altogether. Don't burn a pick on a guy who might be the guy. Use those picks on guys you think are the guy. And, I look at Tua's tape here and there. I see a couple of things that concern me. Besides the injuries, he's a guy who's surrounded by immense talent at every position. Some of that ball placement is a little bit off, and those receivers bail him out a little bit. But he's a quick processor, and he gets that out of those RPOs. So if you're willing to cater an offense to him, you might have something. I think that this quarterback class overall is weaker than people think it is. Joe Burrow, one-year wonder. Justin Herbert's got some maturity questions, and you look around to these other guys like Brom and Eason, those are project types. So, if you believe Tua's the guy, spend the pick. If you don't, then pass and keep building your roster and wait for the next year.
It's interesting that you bring that up, that the class is not as strong as some people would think. And Joe Burrow, is it more about Trubisky and Mark Sanchez that scare the crap out of you?
Well, there's that, and then, a statistic that I think most people are overlooking is that, 54% of Joe Burrow's yardage comes on yardage after the catch, which means he's doing a lot of dinking and dunking, letting those track star receivers at LSU make plays on the ball. That leads the SEC, by the way, as far as being the lowest number of air yards per pass out of any quarterback. So that's something that's concerning. Plus, again, one-year wonders, that always scares me a little bit. What's he going to be in the pros if he's only got 1 year of excellence at the collegiate level?
And Benjamin Albright, by the way, joining us. You could follow him on Twitter at Albright NFL. Benjamin, what are the maturity issues that you hear about Justin Herbert? Because personally, for me, he just doesn't wow me, man. I just don't see dog in him. I don't see those big moments, those big comebacks, those big wins. I just don't see that from the kid. He doesn't convince me by his play. What do you hear about his maturity?
Well, there's some scouts I talked to when I was out in Oregon last month, and I had the opportunity to sit down with them. They're concerned about his ability to command an NFL locker room. He went back to school on the advice of scouts who said he might be a little too immature to command men in the huddle. And so, you got a guy who likes to get out and have some fun and might not be the type of guy who's as serious and as committed to his craft maybe as he needs to be. And, that concerns guys, a guy who walks into a locker room and is going to have veterans laugh at him instead of saying, okay, let's take us down the field. Now, first time he gets on the field, if he does drive him down there, that might erase some of that. But, we've seen specifically here in Denver a situation like that before, a kid named Paxton Lynch. So, there's concern here around that maturity level.
All right, well, listen, I'm a draft guy too, and I'll give you 2 other guys that I used to hear stuff like that, and it all came through. Ryan Mallett and Tyler Bray. Those are 2 guys that they came into the draft process with a lot of immaturity, and it's a shame because Tyler Bray from Tennessee, that kid had an NFL arm. I mean, there is no doubt in my mind that guy had an NFL arm. He just wasn't a good dude.
Yeah, I remember. I seem to recall him a story about him from a 3rd-story window throwing bottles and cans down at cars, and just all kinds of stuff in college, being a knucklehead. Mallett was another guy that had had $1 million arm and a 10-cent head. So, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, scouts used to tell me he would lead the drinking games at the bars and that's
something similar with Herbert.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Well, that happens. That's the interesting part. When you get to hit the road, you get some interesting stories. Benjamin Albright joining us here on the program, and you can follow him on Twitter at Albright NFL. Is there a guy that might be going under the radar for you? An Anthony Gordon, somebody out there that you might like? Give me somebody.
Utah State's Jordan Love. I think he's got all the ability. He's not surrounded by elite talent. Obviously, playing at Utah State, you're not going to have a lot of great talent around you, but he makes the most of it. I think if you've got an opportunity where you've got a veteran who's going to be on his last year, maybe last 2 years of his deal, and you've got some time to grow him, I think Jordan Love could absolutely be a guy you could groom and develop and be a star in the league.
Yeah, it's all that. That's what it is, isn't it, Benjamin? Because every time I've watched actually several Utah State games this year, and he just has he has these moments where he makes a couple of these passes that you just get, wow, okay, this is special. But he just doesn't put a lot of points on the board. They're not very competitive. It's really all about that. The talent around Utah State is really bad right now, right? It has to be, right?
Yeah, he's carrying that team, and it's a tough go. Anytime you get a non-Power 5 quarterback who's better than the talent around him, it's just so tough because those guys are doing everything they can to carry that team, and sometimes you just don't have the receivers that can get open or an offensive line that can block for you, and it just it's hit or miss tape, and then those guys they get blamed for the mistakes of their teammates. So.
All right, Benjamin, what do you think about Jacob Eason? Some people are that's one of those guys that people kind of like. Does he convince you?
Yeah, outside of Love, I would say that he's probably my favorite, air quotes, project quarterback. I don't think he's a day one starter. Love the tools. He's obviously there in a pro concept offense there at Washington. But I think he's a guy that probably needs a year of seasoning or two before you deploy him. I think he can be a starter in the league, mid-tier starter type. I don't know that he's ever going to be an elite talent in the league, but he definitely can be a guy that can start for a couple of years.
How about Fromm? He has not convinced me out of Georgia. How about you?
Yeah, exact same. I see a guy who's got the tools, but there's something off. He's long on the reads, slow on the release, slow getting the ball out, and I'm not convinced. Those are things you can't have at the NFL level and be successful. You got to get off that first read quick. You've got to be able to get the ball out quick because everybody's fast and they're all coming downhill after you, and you're hanging on to the ball. You're going to eat a lot of sacks.
Benjamin, where are you with Lamar Jackson? Because, one, he's proving me wrong so far, but I still have a problem seeing this working on a long-term basis. I don't know how a quarterback is going to run 200 times a season staying healthy. And I know that he's fast and I know he's quick, but I saw Haloti Ngata catch up to RG3 one day. And that's what I fear with this kid, that it is phenomenal what they're doing, and they are fooling everybody right now. But I just have a feeling that this gravy train will end because you can't have a quarterback running 200 times a season.
Well, right. You can't have a running back run that many times. He'll get worn down. Go back and look at Larry Johnson. Got a one season of 300 carries, then nobody heard from him again. I can tell you experience being a thin, fast quarterback is really fun until a big, fast dude catches you, and then it is not. And so with Lamar, yeah, it's electric, it's exciting, and he's absolutely exceeding everybody's expectations. But I think the first thing is exactly that. I don't know how sustainable it is long term. And the second thing is what happens when Greg Roman moves on. Greg Roman is the guy who made Tyrod Taylor, made Colin Kaepernick, and is now making Lamar Jackson. And I tell you, man, he is so creative and uses those mobile quarterbacks so well. A lot of other offensive coordinators don't do that. So I'm hesitant to see when he gets head coaching offers and he leaves, what's going to happen to Lamar Jackson. Are they going to have as exciting an offensive coordinator? Are they going to fall back into the Marty Morningwigs of the world and he fades into oblivion?
Wow, that is a great point. I did not realize that about Roman and his connections with the other guys and what he's done with Lamar. And Benjamin, here's the amazing part, is we've had a whole season since last year, but now we've had 12 games, and defensive coordinators haven't been able to figure out how to slow this thing down. Are you amazed with that they haven't all the way to this point?
Well, yes and no. I mean, once you get an off season for guys to look at tape, they'll figure something out. and throw it at him. The other part of this is, when you've got a dynamic athlete like that, it's not just about scheming to stop him, because you have to have great gap discipline. You've got to have great contained discipline, or else he's going to be elusive and slip out of that. And so it's a combination of scheming to stop him and making sure your players are sound and disciplined on each play to make sure they execute that, because one slip up and that guy's taking the crease and he's running 40 yards.
Yeah, and although I got to say this, I think we don't have to wait till next year, Benjamin. I think, well, technically it will be next year because it'll be in January. I think Belichick played vanilla against them the first time. He said, all right, we're going to play them straight up. We win, we don't, we move on. I'm not going to whip out what I would want to use on them until we meet them in the playoffs. Because if they're in the playoffs, then I'm going to use it. Why show them now and then they're ready for me again in the playoffs? I think Belichick held back in their first meeting. You think that's possible?
Well, Belichick is definitely known for experimenting and, maybe trying things in the regular season to see what works, what doesn't, and then carrying those concepts over into the playoffs. So I think he might be onto something. With regard to the Super Bowl game, he took Vic Fangio's game plan when Fangio was with the Bears and shut down that cutback on wide zone against the Rams, and the Rams haven't been the same since. So, he's definitely a guy who will kind of lay in the weeds, try a few things here or there, and then you get to the playoffs and he unloads it on you.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, Benjamin, thank you for joining us. Follow him on Twitter at Albright NFL. You can catch his work at KOA Colorado, iHeartMedia. Benjamin, thank you for taking some time, my man. Look forward to maybe we'll run into each other in the Senior Bowl down the line, my man. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be there. Look forward to it.
You got it, baby. Be good. There you go. Benjamin Albright. Good stuff there. Excellent conversation. How about the Herbert stuff? I did not know about that lack of maturity. See, I know stories about Ryan Mallett. I know stories once I get to the offseason.
That's what I was just going to say. You haven't had that chance.
I haven't had that
to
chance.
have those intimate talks
Yeah,
and find out the dirt.
Right. I haven't been able to find out that dirt. But it's like, because I remember Dolph fans would tell me about Ryan Mallett, and I would tell them, no. And Tyler Bray was the same thing. When he was coming out, I was told, he's not a good dude and all that stuff. And so
see, that's why everybody, you need to put your request and specific information, put it on hold, give it a couple months, let us do our thing, and let find out like he always does the dirt on people.
We try. We'll find out the dirt that we can on certain people. But listen to that part on Herbert. That for those of you that are like, well, if you're not going to get two of them, maybe we got to look at Herbert. Well, if Herbert, maybe that's why he hasn't had those big moments. Maybe that's why he doesn't beat big-time teams. That's why he hasn't accomplished big-time things at Oregon. He's not mature enough.
I got to be honest, though. The game that I saw, that I specifically, the whole game, was the USC game last year, that they should have wiped the floor with them.
Unimpressive.
And, the way the looseness that he carried the ball and fumbled and
that too.
Get in the pile.
He had several fumbles.
They're just,
that year.
There was this nonchalant body language to him, okay?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Man. And that's good stuff there. That's good information from Benjamin Albright, and hopefully those of you out there were able to enjoy that interview with Albright. We'll podcast that interview for you, of course, and we'll get it done, and we'll have a little fun with that, as always. So Albright, good info, man. Really, really good info. And the other guy, that's why I asked him about Jacob Eason. Jacob Eason's the one guy that you could – I had a buddy of mine that's in the league, a scout, that told me he believes that Jacob Eason can be molded into a solid starting quarterback. And Albright kind of said the same thing, because that's the words he used, solid starting quarterback. He goes, not Brady, but he's going to be a solid quarterback if he gets the right coach around him. And that's one of those guys that I want you to keep. I need to find out more about Eason in the offseason, but he's one of those guys that if you don't get Tua and you don't want to get Herbert. And by the way, the other nugget that Albright threw at you was that Herbert, 54% of his yards are yak yards. So it's receivers after the catch doing all the damage for more than half of his yards. That's a lot of yards. Like he said, he's doing a lot of dinking and dunking. And again, it's one season. And if you're a Jets fan, if you're a Bears fan, one season quarterbacks, that is very dangerous. Matt Leinart was surrounded by absolute studs at USC. And he couldn't come through. And then Mark Sanchez had 1 year, and he had talent around him, and he couldn't come through. He had a little over a year, like 18 games or 16 games or so. I think it was 16 games. I think it was 15 or 16, actually.
Do we see a pattern? Do we see a pattern here? USC quarterback?
Oh, yeah, no, yeah,
okay.
Definitely. Carson Palmer has been the last good USC quarterback. So you have to go over 20 years. Just over, right? I think. I want to say Carson Palmer was like 99 or 2000. Go look up Carson Palmer draft.
I'm pretty sure you're right. That's around the time that the Canes stop and USC took off. 2002, 2003. It's about 16, 17.
Yeah, I want to say Carson Palmer was either 99 or 2000. One of those two. And that was the last USC quarterback that was good.
Okay. 2000 was the Florida State-Oklahoma game. Hipple. That we were supposed to be in. One was us against, so USC's probably 99. You're probably right.
He was the Bengals quarterback 2003 to 2010. So, no, it was 2002 then, obviously, where he was drafted 2003, played in the 2002 season. So, 2003, I was off by a couple of years there. Carson Palmer, 2003. That was one of my first Senior Bowls, actually. And I was impressed because that year Carson Palmer was going to be the number one pick in the draft, and he still went to the Senior Bowl. He had no business being at the Senior Bowl. None. He didn't have to play at the Senior Bowl. And the guy went to the Senior Bowl and played. That was, I thought that was.
He's got to be like the last one to do that, correct? Because most of those guys don't do that
number
kind of stuff.
one pick, yeah. I don't remember another number one overall pick quarterback that was at the Senior Bowl now since then. No. In my 20 years of doing it, that would be the only guy. I think this is going to be my 21st year over at the Senior Bowl.
Hell, a lot of those guys are those number one guys. They don't even do anything at the combine.
Right.
They
yeah,
talk,
well, yeah. Now
interview me. That's it.
Yeah, but 20 years ago was a different ball game. They actually still went out and did it. But I was impressed because he was already the number one pick. He do anything. He didn't have to go to the combine. He didn't have to do an interview. He didn't have to go to the Senior Bowl. He didn't have to do any of that. He was going to be selected number one overall, automatic, and yet still went to the Senior Bowl, wrist injury for that week. Did all the interviews. He was really a really likable guy. I remember that. And to this day, I think every time I've seen interviews with Carson Palmer, he seems like a pretty cool dude overall. And he was a solid quarterback, man. Solid quarterback. He's just, unfortunately, with the Bengals. I mean, I can't blame him for that. You know? It is what it is. What are you going to do? But good interview there with Benjamin Albright. Really happy that Cassio lined that up and got him on the show. That was very, very important. I like that. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, we will get to that segment and answer your questions. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Remember, at 1 o'clock, Andy Behrens from Yahoo Fantasy is going to join us So get your fantasy basketball, fantasy football questions lined up. Send them in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line at 786-322-1105 or on Twitter at Big O Show. That's the other way. DM too, because a lot of you like to DM the fantasy questions. So either way, however you want to do it on Twitter, timeline, or DM, send in those fantasy questions, basketball or football. Andy Behrens will join us at the top of the hour for that one. We've got 3 games tomorrow on the slate. You know what I do want to get into when we come back on the other side? I want to get into a little Hall of Fame talk. Zach Thomas is part of the semifinals list, 25 names that the Hall of Fame announced yesterday. I want to get into that with you guys, talk a little bit about Zach. Will he get into the Hall of Fame? I'm going to give you my opinions when we come back. Before we do that, let me tell you about Craig Zins. Acura of Pembroke Pines will be out there broadcasting live tomorrow at 9 a.m. from 9 to 11. Come on by and say hi. And let me tell you right now, they got some great lease features going on. 2019 models, the ILX, man, it's $199 a month. That is crazy. 2020 models, the TLX is $259, the RDX is $329, the MDX is $369. Only $29.99 to its signing, plus tax tag and registration, folks. And you've got to check out the fleet of certified pre-owned vehicles and the used cars. All makes, all models to fit all kinds of budgets. It's a staff that's second to none. They're helpful. They're respectful. They will give you your space, but they will take care of you because you're going to get the best deal in the finest Acura dealership on the planet. And it's at 15601 Pines Boulevard. It's Craig Zins, Acura of Pembroke Pines.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
We are back. We're ready to rock. We're out here at Caneswear in Davie having some fun.
Not sweating.
No, not sweating. We'll be
Nice.
out here. Yeah,
Nice
yeah.
day,
No,
man.
no.
This
Today's
is
a great day.
No
man.
humidity. This is like closest to a fall day that we've had.
Yes,
You know?
yes. I love it today. Today is so comfortable.
Summer
man.
is finally over, brother.
Yep, yep. And so we'll be having a little fun out here for a few more hours. So come on by and say hi at 1 o'clock. It'll be Andy Behrens. He will have fantasy football and fantasy basketball. So send those questions in right away. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the program. The other way is on Twitter at Big O Show and on Instagram at Big O Radio Show. That's the other way to get in. And, of course, you can send in those questions and we will get them over to Andy Behrens from Yahoo Fantasy, which is always great to have Andy on. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow, a nice, safe one. I'm just hoping I have a good one because, like I told you earlier, I don't have the old lady in town.
Honey Baked Store, brother, I'm telling you.
I don't have the old lady in town. So I don't cook. The wife doesn't cook. So we got to go buy the turkey and buy the other stuff. And I'm risking. Tomorrow it's just one of those where it's going to be a gamble, man. It's going to be a gamble. I got to cross my fingers, hope I can get a decent. The old lady's on a cruise, man. How dare she go on a cruise during Thanksgiving? I'm used to the good turkey and the good food, man. Those delicious beans. She makes these beans that are just like to die for. It's like you look forward to even the next day and the leftovers. And then the day after that. Because you're having leftovers on Friday. You're having leftovers on Saturday. And then you're scrounging on there. Is there anything left over for Sunday? And usually there's nothing left over by Sunday. You know, because I've already had a couple of those dishes. That's the thing. I may not even have food on Friday or Saturday because it may not be up to par on Thursday.
That's the thing I love about
I
Thanksgiving.
fear this.
The leftovers, man.
I fear this. I fear tomorrow. I need it big time.
You know what? I'm going to look up at the Honey Baked Store and see if they do turkeys. And if you do, I feel pretty confident that will be your best bet.
Yeah. Well, let's see if I tell the wife.
I'm on the hunt for you, brother.
On
I'm
the way
on
home.
the hunt, brother.
And tonight, by the way, if you're driving around, hanging around, tonight we'll be doing Sirius Radio. We'll be on Mad Dog Channel 82 from 8 to 11 tonight, having some fun. So while the Heat are playing their game against the Rockets, I'll be on the air having a little fun there. I wanted to talk a little bit about Zach Thomas. Yesterday, the NFL announced the 25 semifinalists for the Hall of Fame. And here are the names: Steve Atwater, Carl Banks, Rondé Barber, Tony Boselli, Isaac Bruce, Leroy Butler, Alan Faneca, Torrey Holt, Steve Hutchinson, Edrin James, John Lynch, Clay Matthews, Sam Mills, Troy Polamalu, Simeon Rice, Richard Seymour, Steve Tasker, Fred Taylor, Zach Thomas, Hines Ward, Ricky Waters, Reggie Wayne, Patrick Willis, Darren Woodson, and Bryant Young. 25 exceptional players, no doubt about that. They are going to cut this list down to 15 on January 2nd. 5 of these players will be selected to get into the Hall of Fame. They will also induct 10 senior candidates, 3 contributors, and 2 coaches. Okay? Now, in my book, Zach Thomas is a Hall of Famer. I saw greatness on the field time and time again. It had nothing to do with size. I'm not giving him credit for playing great at his size. I'm not going to insult him for that. I am going to credit him because he was a great linebacker, period. He was a great leader. He was a winner. I don't care that they didn't win a championship. I don't care that they had some rough seasons at times. It wasn't because of Zach Thomas. Lord knows Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas and Tim Bowens and Pat Surtain and Sam Madison, they did their best. Those guys busted their asses, but those 5 guys aren't going to carry you to a title. They needed help from coaching. They needed help from the front office. They needed help from their quarterback and their offense, and they never got enough of that. So I'm not going to blame Zach Thomas for that. I'm not blaming Jason Taylor for that. I'm not blaming any of those guys for that. But I saw Zach Thomas as a coverage linebacker, as a guy that could run like a deer from sideline to sideline. The fact how he can anticipate things was truly amazing. That guy, you look at his stats, he's got stats that are comparable to plenty of guys that are already in the Hall of Fame. To me, there is no doubt about it that Zach Thomas is a Hall of Famer. The only issue that I see is I think that stigma of overcoming the shortness and all that. It's like Sam Mills. Sam Mills was a hell of a player, but he's going to get more credit for overcoming his lack of height than the kind of stature that he was as a player. And Zach Thomas, for me, gets a little bit of that. And because they didn't have success, they didn't win anything big ever, that's going to be a problem. And then the other thing that hurt Zach Thomas, his era of linebacker was the era of Ray Lewis and Junior Seau. You know what I mean? And those Steeler linebackers. And it was just an era where there was a richness of talent at that position. And again, that's not Zach's fault either. And yet he probably will be penalized for all of those things that I talked about. Because the sad reality is he will be more looked at for the novelty that it was for him to play and succeed than the skill that he showed every single Sunday. And because of that, I think he doesn't get in the Hall. I'll take it to another level, okay? I bet you he doesn't make it to the cut of 15. I bet you he gets cut with the 25. Out of the 25, those 10 guys that are going to get cut on January 2nd, I bet he's one of those guys that gets cut. And he's going to be penalized because of the atmosphere around him, the kind of team he played for. Because unfortunately, that was a Dolphin franchise that was on the decline and headed in the direction it's been in the last 20 years. I think now we're going to be on the rise, and it's going to change now. But obviously we need to see that change take place. I just feel that the right people are in place now in that front office, and I kind of like Flores. I think one more year, and I think I'll be convinced with Flores. But I think they're closer now than they have been in 20 years. But let's be honest. The Wannstedt run was the beginning of the end. Because you had Shula, and then Jimmy built that defense. Who's built anything after that? It was Wani's job to build the offense. Never got it done. And then everybody else that's followed after that can't build anything. So think about that. Wannstedt was the beginning of the end. He enjoyed a couple really good seasons early on because of what Jimmy left him on defense. But as his tenure took over and his kind of players took over and his kind of coaching took over, the spiral was downward. And then it never got any better after that because the people that took over were either as bad as Wannstedt or even worse. Or as mediocre as Wannstedt or as average as Wannstedt and worse. Let's not say bad, as average as Wannstedt is. Because Wannstedt was average, let's say. Can't call him terrible. You win 11 games a couple times and 10 once. It's pretty good. You did at least your job. So let's say average. But that's been the problem with this franchise. And that's the stigma that Zach Thomas has to carry with him. And it's not fair. I'm not calling any of this fair. I'm not saying any of this is right. All I'm saying is Torrey Holt was part of a championship. You know what I'm saying? And that was success. Carl Banks was part of success. Edgerrin James had a lot of success. Did not get to the championship. They won it the year after he left to Arizona, but he went to a lot of playoffs. They were known as the Big Three. He was a leading rusher, all that kind of stuff. John Lynch had a lot of success. Clay Matthews played a fortune of years. Troy Polamalu, champion. You know what I'm saying? These are things that it's just they've got an edge over Zach Thomas. Hines Ward's got a championship, was a hell of a receiver, was one of the great special teams players of all time. Reggie Wayne, a champion, an excellent wide receiver. Patrick Willis, shortened career, but was a monster linebacker. Probably more talented than Zach. Patrick Willis. So he'll get more respect because he was considered an elite linebacker at his time, even though it was a shorter period of time. Tony Boselli, those Jags teams even got to an AFC championship game, and he had a lot of success, even though he had a shortened career, but more success. These are things that are going to hurt Zach. And these are things on the resume of these players that Zach does not have. And it kills me. And I feel like he's going to get the short end of the stick because of all of that. And it's disturbing. I got to tell you.
He's an absolute tackle machine.
Yeah.
How many years did he lead the league? Like out of 7 or 8 years, it was like 5, 6.
I don't know
how many. It was
how
some
many.
ridiculous number, right?
I don't know if it's that many, but he did it. He did it a couple times, and he's a beast.
He always had 150, 160, easy.
Easy.
You
He's
know,
everywhere.
One of my favorite comments was Shula stating flat out, today's football and all this analysis and this and that, Zach Thomas does not get drafted. Period. He goes undrafted probably.
No, I wouldn't say that. Because,
that's what Shula said.
Yeah, that's what Shula said, but I doubt that's true because people take chances on projects, on undersized players. Jakeem Grant is a guy they took a chance on. Lamar Jackson, the entire league said, no, this kind of football doesn't fly. And Baltimore was the only one that said, you know what, we'll try this experiment. So, yes, people do take chances on players who are odds. They're just different. And they then, Tim Tebow, a different type player. And they took a chance on him in the first round, late first round for Tim Tebow. And so it is possible. I disagree with Shula on that because we see players, Darren Sproles, we see Danny Woodhead, we see guys that are smallish, and teams took a chance on them and put them in positions that they have responded. And they are, Austin Eckler is a small kid for the Chargers, and he's a big factor for them in their passing game and even as a running back. So it is possible. There are guys that are freakish and that they don't fit the norm and they take a chance on. So I disagree with Shula on that one.
I just think, like you
I mean, Sam Mills
Zach
was just
wasn't
smaller than Zach.
Zach wasn't fast.
No, he was
Zach
quick.
didn't have size.
He was quick.
One of my favorite plays, you remember the rain, the monsoon game against Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, yes.
And Bettis, right at the goal line twice, right? The hole opens up. Zach puts his nose in it like you're supposed to and stuffs him at the goal line.
But we lost badly in that game.
Yeah, but those two plays, you got to find
I know,
something.
but I still remember. I still remember it was a bad loss. That loss still pains me, I think.
That and the
because that was like, those were decent football teams back then. You know what I mean? It just like, those are losses that still sting. I'm sure all of you out there, you have your losses that still sting 5 years, 10, 20, 30 years later. They still sting.
I just remember all that water.
Yes.
Shots of the upper deck.
Yeah, it was just like
gushing,
pouring
gushing.
down. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was bad. I remember that. That was bad. I'm sure some of you out there are like, I was at that game. I remember I wasn't at that game. I was watching it on television. I remember that one. That one I did not attend. I was actually watching.
The two rain games I can remember, obviously.
That was easy 20 years ago, right?
Oh,
that
yeah.
Game.
Oh, yeah.
Easy 20 years ago.
Obviously.
Maybe 25 years ago, probably. I'll go 25.
AFC Championship game against the Jets. The interception,
Yeah.
AJ, in the rain.
3 of them. You have 3 in that game?
I want to say 2.
2?
But the one that started the third quarter, 14-0.
Yes.
And I think it was a playoff game at Joe Robbie against the Chargers. Another rain-heavy game.
I don't remember that one now.
I want to say it was a playoff game. We had like 8. Is it? No, we had 16 family members. There was 8 in front and 8 in back, all family, friends. There we got 16
I'm old
tickets.
now. I guess I don't remember that one now. I can't remember everything, but I guess I don't remember the rain one with the San Diego Chargers. I do remember playing San Diego one year, the first game of the season, and they beat Miami, and the running back's name was Gary Anderson, and I want to say he scored a touchdown where he dove from the 5-yard line into the end zone. It was like a really cool touchdown. It was a long time ago. I mean, if I remember correctly, the running back's name was Gary Anderson. Not sure, but I think it was. Maybe it was just Anderson. Maybe I got their first name wrong. Maybe I'm confusing it with the kicker named Gary Anderson. But I want to say it was Gary Anderson. Anybody remember that? And I want to say it was a home game too. It wasn't even at San Diego. It was here, and that might have been the game-winning touchdown. And the dude like dove 15 feet
from the 5.
From the 5, basically. Okay? Basically, from the 5. All right? So, what can I tell you? It is what it is. All right, 786-322-1105. That's the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. I'm terrified that Zach's not going to make it. It bothers me, and I'm not trying to be a negative Nelly or anything like. I'm just calling it like I see it. I'm just going by what I think the average person outside of South Florida thinks and what goes through their minds. And I don't think people outside of South Florida or outside of being a Doll fan, because of course we have Doll fans all over the world, I don't believe that they appreciate Zach the way you and I do, that we watch them every day and we watch them make big play after big play after big play, running game, passing game, you name it. okay? And the pounding that guy took, considering also his size, the toughness that man showed every single week of every single season. I remember standing on the sidelines because we used to be able to go down for the final 6 minutes of the game. And I'm there on the sidelines, and Zach Thomas, I swear to you, has some kind of a neck injury, and he's like crooked, and he's waiting to go back into the game for the defense. And I swear to you, he's all screwed up. Trainer's like working on him, and like, are you feeling better? And I could hear it. They're literally less than 10 feet away from me. And I can hear him. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm going to go in there. And he's like rubbing it. And Zach's like, he's like kind of like growling a little bit because it hurts. Because he's trying to massage it and all that. And Zach's kind of like twisted. And there he goes, just running right back into the game. Next play, he's just diving in there and just hitting somebody. And I'm just standing there going, this effing guy, bro. This guy's just awesome. The balls, the dedication, the leadership, the winner that he is. And I think they won that game too. And he wanted to like finish that win because it was one of the things that I also admired about Zach. I'll tell you, as a guy that covered his career and was pretty much at every home game that he played, Zach and Jason, they took it personal. And I appreciated that as a fan. As a media member, it was a great soundbite. And it was great to replay on radio and all that good stuff. And fans loved it. And they loved that those guys were brutally honest. And they just left it all on the table, whether it was their play or whether it was their emotions, because they wore them on their sleeves. But I appreciated that he gave a crap. No matter what was going on. And if he won, it was the ultimate high for him. And if he lost, it was just what you feel at home when you're, throwing the remote and screaming at the top of your lungs. And you're like, gee, damn it, and all that, and F-bombs everywhere.
Losing to the Jets the last game of the season constantly and getting knocked out of the playoffs.
Yes.
Okay?
The way you feel is the way Zach and Jason felt. I can tell you that was a fact because I covered those dudes, and I watched them, and I watched how they cared. And I can't tell you that everybody feels that way. I'm not going to lie to you either and tell you that every player hurts the way those guys were hurting when they would lose, because they took it personal. And not enough players take it personal. I mean, hey, this past week, I know it's college, but when FIU's up 13 points and you got that kid from UM dancing on the sidelines, it's like, what the hell are you doing, bro? It's one of the things I hate the most is this team is leading 57-14, and the guy scores a touchdown to make it 57-21, and he's got all kinds of gyrations and dancing and celebrating, and it's like, dude, it's 57-21. Get your ass back to the sidelines. There's nothing to celebrate. I hate that guy. I hate the guy that is going first down, and he's making all kinds of signs of first down and getting it done, and they're losing 30-3. And it's like, your first down means nothing, dude. You're down by 27 points. Shut the hell up and get back to the huddle and go get 10 more first downs. Happens all the time. And when I see a guy like Zach, and I covered him, and I've covered other players, plenty of others, that I know and I see that they don't care like those guys. So in my book, Zach Thomas, not because he cared, not because he felt the emotion of a win or a loss, but because he earned the right to be in the Hall of Fame. Because I watched it personally every single week. I covered it. I watched him play through injuries and pain. I watched him excel every single year. And his team wasn't ever losing because of him. He was the reason why they were winning anything that they won. He just didn't have enough help to help him win more than he should have won. That's the problem here. That's what's going on. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. Folks, let me tell you about Choice Mortgage Bank, because Michael Codsey and the great people at Choice Mortgage Bank, listen, we can still get you into a fixed mortgage rate under 3.5%. Nobody's going to work harder. That's what you're going to love about Michael Codsey. When you're done, you're going to go, no wonder O's been bragging about Michael for over 9 years. This guy worked tirelessly for us. Every single day, his staff was always working to get the best deal possible and to make it easy for me. That's what they do. So let's consolidate those bills. Let's lower that monthly payment. Let's lower all those credit card bills. Let's eliminate them. You got some equity in your home, let's use it, folks. Or you want to lower that monthly payment by maybe getting a better deal in place. You're paying 4.5%, 5.5%, 6%. We can get you into a deal under 3.5%. Call Choice Mortgage Bank right now. Call the owner, Michael Codsey, 561-441-2730. Save it on that cell phone, 561-441-2730. Rewind on the podcast, 561-441-2730. Michael Codsey and Choice Mortgage Bank.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Codsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Codsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
Welcome back. We take you, of course, till about close to, 2:30, 3 o'clock, something like that. We're out here at Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. Go to caneswear.com, folks. You are going to love it. If you live too far from us, you can order online, $99 and over. You get free shipping. Like I told you, if you want to get in and you got some fantasy football questions, you got to send them in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. It's 786-322-1105, and we're going to do fantasy basketball. We're going to do fantasy football with Andy Barron, so we'll do a little bit of both here on the program.
We got Andy Barron's for you, brother.
I love it. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. If you want to send them in on Twitter, that's at Big O Show. You can do that there too, and send it in at Big O Show on the DM, all that good stuff. Andy, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. This is a huge week, Big O. We got people trying to make their fantasy playoffs in football leagues. I myself am trying to make the playoffs in a couple leagues. It's a must-win week, so I'm going to try to be at my best here.
All right, you would definitely need to do that. First of all, let's do a little basketball before we get into football. For the Warriors, the Kai Bowman kid. I know he's on that two-way contract, but he has played so well. Is this a guy that I keep reading that the Warriors they're going to find a way to get him on the active roster permanently, kind of like the Carlos Silva guy we have here in Miami. So what is this a guy that you feel they're going to be able to do this, and should we grab him in fantasy basketball?
Well, it's one of those situations where Steve Kerr has been raving about him and basically said that they gave him an opportunity. He's really running with it. There's a lot to like here. I mean, D'Angelo Russell comes back, presumably, right? Like, they haven't gone full tank. We may get Draymond Green back tonight. The win-loss numbers may look like they've gone full tank, but they're still riding with D'Angelo Russell. There's no trade win there just yet. So he's going to come back, and that's going to be an issue. But I mean, Bowen's playing well, and it's hard to believe that he just goes away, right? Like, these lines have been pretty good, coming off a 24-point game, a little bit of 3-point range there. Obviously, some assist ability. He's got 5 assists in 3 of his last 4 games. So these are all very startable lines. We'll see what it looks like when Russell is back in the fold, but as of now, it looks like he's a guy who's going to have to get 15 to 20 minutes a game.
All right, so he's a guy. He's a stash guy, is what you think he is right now.
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly play him right now, right? Like
yes.
He's definitely in play tonight against the Bulls, and then when Russell comes back, he's a guy where you just got to see where the minutes go, because if the minutes fall to like 10, 12 a game, he's probably going to be unplayable.
Oh, yeah.
But again, there's also a possibility down the line that Russell gets flipped this year.
Yes, you're about that, and also they still could start Bowman with Russell in the same lineup, because it's not like Poole has been, incredibly deadly or anything like that. That guy's been very erratic, and Bowman's been very consistent actually, and he does distribute the ball, so he does help you in that area.
Yeah, it is. It's tough to pull that off, because you're talking about a 6'1" guy and like a 6'3", 6'4" guy, and that's just real small in today's NBA. But of course, if you're the Warriors, you're going to try some stuff, because nothing has worked to this point.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Markelle Fultz, is this a buy low candidate right now?
What an interesting player, and I guess the best way to start with Markelle Fultz is just to say, good for him, because I thought it was going to be a long time, if ever, before we discussed him as a fantasy relevant player. I was surprised that he looked as good as he did in preseason, and so it's great that he's sort of fallen into minutes, and that at least for stretches he's looked pretty good. To my eye, like, there's a narrative there that is really fun, and again, feel good story. There are some things that he's not consistently doing that he's going to have to do as a guard and a dominant ball handler in the NBA, right? Like, he doesn't finish particularly strong when he's at the rim. It looks like he's still kind of playing not to get fouled. There's a little bit of that in his game, although he shot just fine for the most part from the free throw line. So, I feel pretty bullish on him overall. He seems like he's settled into 25 to 30 minutes a game, double-digit point production. I don't know that there's another level he can get. I didn't think he'd get to this level this early in the season, again, if at all. So I don't know if there's really another one that he can get to. He doesn't wow you with his athleticism, at least by the standards of the NBA. He tries to get into the lane, and then again, he's not finishing at the rim. He's kind of spinning away from contact and getting up floaters, getting up like 8-footers, 10-footers, not getting himself fouled. So there's just some things that he's not quite doing. But do I think he's going to continue to get a steal or two a game? Yes, absolutely. Do I think he can get double-digit point production? Sure. I don't know that he's going to be some 9 to 12 assist guy. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think the minutes are quite going to be there. But he's actually been really, really steady over the last week or two. So he's certainly a guy that you can fire up in like a 12-team league.
All right, good stuff there. Remember, you can follow Andy Behrens on Twitter at Andy Behrens. Catch his work there at Yahoo Fantasy. The Washington Wizards, Davis Bertans or Moritz Wagner. Talk to me about those guys, and are they becoming fantasy relevant?
It just really feels like it's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster for Wizards. There's this whole class of player that is just going to go off periodically, and they're going to have a nifty game. They're going to have like 18, 19 points, and they're going to become like really popular waiver ads for a second, and then they're going to go away. And it feels like the Wizards have a lot of those guys. I guess of the players that it started with Rui Hachimura, who was just gangbusters to start the year. Rookie, fun player out of Gonzaga, fun backstory. He was like 18 points a game for a little while, right out of the gates. And then he's really slowed down. Bertrand seems like the guy who, over the last week or so, has at least put up steady numbers, and the minutes have been pretty steady. The minutes have been consistently, again, 25 to 32 a game, double-digit point production. Not overwhelmingly helpful in terms of rebounds, but I don't think he's hit few 3 threes in any game for a couple of weeks now. So Bertans is probably the guy that I feel the best about. Again, these are guys that I would drop at the first sign of trouble. I don't think they're league winners for you, but Bertans seems like the guy who is going to be relatively steady going forward.
DeAndre Hunter for Atlanta, is he going to keep his play up? They got Collins suspended. Werder is always dealing with some kind of an injury. That kid is fragile. What's the deal there?
Yeah, I think Hunter is a guy that in plenty of places, I think you can probably get him for free. Like you gotta follow minutes first and foremost in our game some of the time. And here's his minutes in his last 3 games: 37, 34, 35. So the playing time is definitely there. The point production, for the most part, recently has been there. You're going to get some defensive goodies out of him. Hasn't really been piling up steals, but I think that comes. So, yeah, I like him. I like him as a bit of a buy low. I think the early season shooting percentage was just unusually low and isn't going to sustain. Like, I think he's going to be better than that. He's at about 41% from the field now. I have no doubt that he can be better than that over the balance of the year. So I really like him. He's about a 3.5 a game now. It's not going to surprise me if he gives you 2 or 3 most nights.
All right, good stuff as always. Let's move over to. Well, wait a minute. Just out of curiosity, let me finish up in basketball. Something. Is there a under the radar type of pickup you like this week in basketball? Somebody out there that you can tell our listeners, all right, listen, this is a guy you should be looking at in fantasy basketball.
Well, I still think that. I feel like we talked about him last week, but I still feel like Jackson Hayes is just going to have a consistent role eventually for New Orleans. And it's not.
Hayes? You said Hayes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
I just really like that kid. He's so active. Like, moves at a different speed from everybody else on the floor. Jahlil Okafor has his ankle injury. He's missed like 5 or 6 in a row. We know that Favors has a pretty deep injury history, and Hayes just has become a guy that is so difficult to keep off the floor. Again, so active. Block shots are going to be there. He tries to block everything, which we like in fantasy. We don't always like it in real life. We almost never like it in real life, but it's fun in fantasy. And he's just active enough that the points are going to be there and the boards are going to be there. So I like him. I'm still like a guy that we talked about a couple weeks ago, Daniel Stafford in Chicago. I think he's going to continue to find minutes. There's no reason the Bulls shouldn't be playing him. He tries to dunk everything. I have a soft spot for players. One other guy who's actually available in almost, I want to say, 70% of Yahoo leagues is Rajon Rondo. And the assist numbers have been really consistent. He is getting some wide open threes and knocking a couple of them down each game. So he's been pretty fun. The points have been there. The assists are always there, and the steals are always there. And again, because he missed so many games at the start of the season, he's out there for free in a ton of leagues.
That's a good one there with Rondo. All right, let's move over to football, my brother. Sam Darnold, is that a guy that if you're kind of desperate for a quarterback here in the final push and he's available out there, he's actually played well the last couple of weeks?
Oh, I love that we're talking about Darnold because, we've been writing about him for a few weeks as somebody who just had this incredible stretch of matchups coming up. And he's in it right now. Like he just absolutely slayed the Oakland Raiders, right? Like he's proven that he is good enough and that supporting cast is good enough to just batter a really good matchup. So he's coming off a game in which he had a rushing touchdown, a couple of passing scores. I want to say he's got like 10 combined touchdowns over his last 4 games. He's facing Cincinnati this week, and no pass defense has been as bad as Cincinnati in terms of yards per pass attempt. They give up 9 yards per pass attempt on the season. That's nearly, and we're like 12 weeks in now. They're giving up nearly a first down every time a team attempts to throw the ball, giving up the 7th most fantasy points to opposing QBs. So yes, I think Sam Darnold has a really good matchup and is a really good start this week. Probably a top 10 start this week. He was a top 4 fantasy quarterback last week. I think he sustains that. He's just in a really good situation. Jamison Crowder is playing well. Robbie Anderson scored in back-to-back weeks. They found something in Ryan Griffin, a tight end that they've given a decent contract to. Obviously, still got Lead Bell at his disposal. Like, that's a good situation and a stellar matchup.
Well, I was going to follow up Robbie Anderson if he's.
I don't know where he is in other DFS platforms, but in Yahoo's daily game, he's only like $12, which is barely over the minimum price. He's found the end zone in each of the last 2 weeks, and he hasn't even really done it on like big splash plays yet, and that's what he's known for. He's coming into a few more targets now. Again, I think there's going to be weeks where Jamison Crowder kind of steals the show, but it's just a really good receiving core. And it would be no surprise at all if Darnold threw like 3 touchdown passes this week against Cincinnati, because that's kind of it's like a dinner and a movie defense. You can do whatever you want to the Bengals.
Is Deebo Samuel a starting wide receiver now?
Most weeks, but maybe not against Baltimore. Like, that Baltimore defense, now that they have all of their corners back, they get Jimmy Smith back, and everybody's locked in there. That's a really good defense. The Niners' identity is also, they want to hold you to like 9 points, and they want to run the ball down your throat, and that's what they'll do a lot. I think Deebo Samuel is more of a flex in a matchup against Baltimore, where I wouldn't expect the Niners to put up a ton of points. But rest of season, even though they have a very difficult division schedule, I think Samuel is going to be a wide receiver too most weeks.
All right. Remember, you want to reach out to Andy. You can follow him on Twitter at Andy Behrens. You can catch his work there at Yahoo Fantasy. And remember, if you want to send in any questions right now, you can send them in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line 786-322-1105, and also on Twitter at Big O Show, which they're asking, is Jonathan Williams worth the start this week with Marlon Mack injured?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why. This is 2 weeks in a row now where the Colts have really rolled the Jonathan Williams fun story, and it's worked, and he's been really good. So I know Jordan Wilkins is getting healthy. I don't see any reason. I never assume that NFL coaches are going to veer away from something that is currently working, and that is very much the case for Williams. So there's nothing about a matchup with Tennessee that really scares you off. They're kind of middle of the pack defensively in almost every area, right? And so there's nothing that terrifies you here about the opponent. I find it unlikely that Tennessee, even though Ryan Tannehill has played well, like Derrick Henry's playing well, Ryan Tannehill is playing well for that team, I find it unlikely that this game will get out of hand in terms of game flow and get away from Jonathan Williams. I think he's going to be in it all day, and I think he's a guy where if everything goes according to script for that team, he gets 20 carries.
All right. Well, you kind of talked about him. The Dolphins could never count on him to carry him into the playoffs and do anything. We are all trying to fight our way to get into the playoffs. Are we going to use Ryan Tannehill? We couldn't use him in reality. Do we use him in fantasy to get us into the playoffs?
Yeah. This is so tricky because obviously everybody, and certainly in Miami, you must feel this way. Everybody expects a letdown coming for Ryan Tannehill. That said, you look at his 5 starts for the Titans so far. He's 4-1. He's actually leading the NFL in yards per pass attempt at 9.2. He's completing over 70% of his throws. He's got 13 combined TDs. He's doing this with a receiving core that is pretty shaky, certainly in the bottom half of the league, right? He's thrown A.J. Brown is fine. He's a fun rookie, but he's thrown to a mostly injured Corey Davis. He doesn't have Delaney Walker. He's on IR. It's going to be Jonnu Smith at tight end. He's got a great running game, though, and that is certainly helping him. The fact that you have to game plan first and foremost for the thing that Tennessee really wants to do, which is just pound you with Derrick Henry. You have to game plan for that, and it's left a lot of opportunity for Ryan Tannehill. And but another thing that Miami fans should know is he's pretty good on the ground. When he tucks it and runs, he's okay. And he's had a couple of rushing scores in the last few weeks. So, would I be totally confident starting Ryan Tannehill? No, I'm not going to say that. But again, this week, not a bad matchup against Indianapolis. He can certainly reproduce some of the recent production in this one, I would think. So 2 or 3 touchdowns out of him this week, sure, that can definitely happen. At some point, there's just going to be a soul-crushing loss here. That just seems inevitable with Tannehill. I feel a little bit better about Sam Darnold this week, too, by the way.
Okay, all right. Kirk Cousins is not 100% owned. Is that weird to you right now because he's playing pretty well?
Yeah, when guys are coming off buys, it never shocks me. Like most fantasy leagues are, they're 10 or 12 teams and you're only starting a one quarterback. So it's not usually wise to keep a second one. So oftentimes when a second or third tier quarterback goes into his bye week, they get dropped. It just happens. So I'm not shocked by that. But Cousins is a guy who obviously gets Adam Thielen back. That's a huge deal. So he's going to have Adam Thielen. He's going to have Kyle Rudolph, who's just been cooking in the red zone lately. He's going to have Stephon Diggs, who's been great, multiple 100-yard games. I think maybe 100-yard games in 5 of his last 7, 5 of 8, something like that. Like Diggs has been really good. And he's got, the best running back, not the best running back, certainly top 3 running back behind him. He's in a great situation. And Cousins is also a guy who's not, he's certainly not perfect. When game flow goes his way, he can be really, really good. The numbers are always there in the end. He is no matter what you think of Kirk Cousins, you can't deny that he's a great stat compiler, right? He always finishes seasons with 4,000 yards, 4,000 plus yards. It's probably going to be close to 30 touchdowns. That matters in fantasy. He may not be the guy that you want with 2 minutes on the clock, down by 4 in a playoff game. I totally get it. But for fantasy, is he a guy who can throw 3 touchdown passes in any given week and 300 yards? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and listen, this week it's Seattle, and then next week it's Detroit. Then after it's the Chargers, and then if you make it to the Super Bowl, it's Green Bay, and they're giving up points. They're not a great defense. So they're not a great defense. It's not quite a layup line, but it's pretty good. The Chargers defense can be situationally frisky, but every one of those other defenses is a great matchup. Right, and Green Bay for Super Bowl. That's why I say that he's a guy that if he's available, you might want to stash him, even if you have a good quarterback, but just in case he has an injury in the next couple of weeks and you need a quarterback and then you're scrambling and there's nothing, and I'm looking at Kirk Cousins being owned around 70-something% in the league, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. That's a guy that I could stash just in case for a rainy day, even if I have a good quarterback going into the playoffs, and knowing he has a good matchup if your Super Bowl is week 16. If it's week 17, it's against the Bears. You're screwed. Don't bother there.
Yeah, although, the Bears may very well have very little to play for in week 17 this
True.
season. It's entirely possible we won't see Khalil Mack or anything like that. So that might not be that bad. I'll tell you one other guy, and I don't know how the balance of the season is going to go for him, and he was certainly shaky last week. But another guy who just has an incredible schedule in the closing weeks is Nick Foles.
Yes.
And all he's got to do is hang on to that job. He's found something, obviously, with DJ Chark. He's got Tampa Bay this week. They're the second worst pass defense in the league in terms of yards allowed. And then at week 15, he's got Oakland. That's obviously a very friendly pass defense. And then he's got Atlanta, one of the most friendly pass defenses in the league. So no excuses for Nick Foles. He's got a great slate of games. There's probably, again, as long as he keeps the job, there's a bunch of 300-yard performances upcoming.
Does Randall Cobb move up to number 2 status as a wide receiver in fantasy?
Yeah, he's a really interesting topic. And that game, in some ways, I feel like you have to throw out that game last week because it was a brutal matchup against New England. New England's just been about as fierce a pass defense as we've seen in the fantasy era, and certainly in the modern era in the NFL. And it was in a monsoon. So you have to throw out a lot of elements of it. That said, Randall Cobb still finished with over 80 yards. And that's the one type of receiver that's gotten to New England even a little bit this year, is that slot guy. Dak Prescott's looking for him, and Dak has thrown him until Lamar did what he did last week. I would say that Dak had kind of put himself into the MVP conversation, and now I'd say maybe not so much. But Dak is playing at a very high level. He's got 3 400-yard games so far this season, so he's supporting 3 ownable, startable fantasy receivers. Yeah, I would say Randall Cobb is back in that discussion. If you're in any sort of PPR format, you've got to think of him as a wide receiver 3.
So here's the thing. Anthony Miller might be available to folks out there. Do we trust Trubisky enough, or that whatever quarterback ends up there, enough that we can get something out of Anthony Miller? Because I love Anthony Miller, the player. I just don't like his quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Anthony Miller has been one of the great disappointments at the real life and fantasy season for me. And he's been finally over the last couple of weeks, he's been targeted a bit more heavily. He's got 20 targets over his last 2 games. That's really good to see. He's converted that into 12 catches. He's a little over 120, 130 yards, something like that. Miller was a touchdown machine last year. He's been really since his rookie year. In fact, last year, he played through a shoulder injury that prevented him from even being able to raise his arm above his head, right? Like, which is a crazy problem for a receiver. And he played through it, and he scored touchdowns. And I really thought, like, he was a breakout candidate for me. I thought he was going to be great. Very, very difficult to trust anyone other than Allen Robinson. Robinson is the very clear number one. He's great. Robinson has now thrived with both Blake Bortles and Mitch Trubisky, which is crazy to me. So, like, Robinson is the clear number one. Miller is a guy who, like, in a deep league, I could really imagine starting in a handful of matchups. And Detroit is one of them. I think he's kind of a fringy wide receiver 3 this week, and then they've got a matchup coming up with Green Bay in Week 15. He could be a wide receiver 3 there as well.
All right, I like it. Bo Scarborough, we'll wrap it up with this. Does he become a option this week, maybe as a flex?
He is totally an option. He's less of a great option in any sort of PPR format because they're not really throwing to him.
Right.
But, I mean, obviously a player who was very good in college and just a ridiculous athlete. People may forget his vertical jump at the combine was like 40 inches. You know, he ran a crazy 40 time for a player his size. Like, he's a really good athlete, total pounder, huge player. And the Bears defense against the run has not been spectacular without Hakeem Hicks in the middle of that line. So there are opportunities there for a guy like that. He's getting, 16, 18 touches on Thanksgiving. He will definitely be a thing. He's got a good shot to find the end zone.
All right, Andy, since we have Thanksgiving tomorrow with the 3 games, and then on Sunday, what are you guys doing on Yahoo? How do you break it up? Because I know on Sunday you've got that the fantasy show leading up to the 1 o'clock games. What are you guys doing to get everybody ready for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I'll tell you a couple things. As soon as we get off this call, I'm going to record a podcast on hoops with my coworker Dalton Del Don. He's great. We're going to get the hoops week set up for you a little bit, and then on Sunday, as always, it's Fantasy Football Live at it'll be 11:30 Eastern Time. That's 90 minutes before kickoff. We preview everything. We give you a lowdown on weather. We give you late breaking injury news. We give it all to you.
There you go. And follow him on Twitter at Andy Behrens and go to Yahoo Fantasy. Andy, happy Thanksgiving, my brother. Thank you, as always. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you and your listeners, too, Big O. And good luck to everybody, again, in a must-win Fantasy Football Week.
Hails to the yeah. Thank you, Andy. Appreciate it, my brother. There you go. The great Andy Behrens. Love it, man. Love it. He's such a good dude, Andy Behrens, man. He knows his stuff. A little basketball, 2 segments there. You got fantasy basketball the first half, and then a little fantasy football.
Got everybody double dipping.
Yeah.
He's double dipping today. We're double dipping Friday.
Yeah, double dipping today, too.
That's right. I keep forgetting that you do have Mad Dog.
I have Mad Dog tonight from 8 to 11.
You're a beast, bro.
Yeah, we will try to rock and roll and have some fun during the Heat game.
Just to follow up info, I looked it up. It was 1992, the Chargers-Dolphins playoff game.
Oh, wow.
We beat them to go up against Buffalo.
Oh, wow. Okay.
At home, that's the AFC
that's the 300
game. That's you and me. Yeah. We haven't bet enough. Let's bet some more right before the kickoff.
That was a bad game.
That was a bad
Thurman
day.
Thomas had like 300 yards receiving in that game.
Yeah,
that was bad.
That was 92 Chargers. It was a monsoon playoff game.
I don't even remember that anymore.
No?
I don't remember that one. I'm trying to remember it, and I can't. It's somewhere probably back there, but I just can't find it. All right, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. By the way, folks, if you're looking to improve that man cave, maybe the kitchen, the front yard, anything that you want to do to your home, call EJD Construction. They are proud sponsors of our show. 305-318-4978. That's Eric's phone number. That's the owner. So you can reach him out. Great communication with you, the owner, and the architects. They'll get everything done. 305-318-4978 for EJD Construction.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
All right, welcome back. Thank you all for hanging in there. As always, we appreciate it. And if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. Got a few here that I want to answer. Let me see. Let's get into some of the text that you got that you're sending in. Let's see. Cool Big O. I just mentioned the Anthony Gordon because honestly, it's the first I heard him. I haven't heard anyone mention him. Jimmy in Southern Georgia, by the way. Anthony Gordon texts. Okay, that's the quarterback. We talked a little bit with Benjamin Albright about him. Ask him about his under the radar guy, and it wasn't Anthony Gordon. But we'll find out more about some of those guys. He's the, if I'm correct, what is it, like Western Michigan or something like that is where he's from. I forgot the small school that he's quarterbacking at. But we will definitely get into more of the quarterback stuff down the line as we get to the Combine and the Senior Bowl and all that good stuff. Gordon, I think it's Washington State, if I'm correct, where the kid is at. Let's see, what do we have here on the accidentlawfirm.com text line? It's 786-322-1105. We've got Big O. How do you feel about UM and Coach L? If you were the AD and had to pick between Coach L and Frank Martin, would you pick Eugene and Homestead? Listen, I would love Frank Martin here. There's no doubt I would love Frank Martin here, but I'm not booting Larinaga at this point. I got to be loyal to the guy that's been great to this program for a long time now in Coach Larinaga. He's been the best coach that the University of Miami has ever had. Now, do I want a guy like Frank Martin here? Hells to the yeah. I watched what he's done at K-State, and he's done a decent job over there at South Carolina. Not the easiest place to go and establish a basketball program. So, yeah, I'm super impressed by Frank Martin as a coach. I know Frank Martin. I would love for him to be the University of Miami head coach. But he is young enough that we can wait for Larinaga to retire. I am not pushing Larinaga out the door, man. Eugene, I have way too much loyalty. I like to be good to people that are good to me. And I want to be good to Larinaga. And I'm super happy with Coach Larinaga and what he's done. I got to support him until he is done. When he is done, it's like Pat Riley. You know, some of you guys out there, you want to get rid of Pat Riley because he got into a little bit of a rut. Not me. I'll be the first to tell you, hey, Riley has sucked the last couple of years with, what's it called, Johnson and Whiteside, and what was the other bad deal that they put in place? Those 4 contracts were terrible. Okay, Deion Waiters. I get it. But Riley was too good for us for 20 years. And he's going to be good after that. And I want to see him get out of this hole. And look, he's starting to get out of it. I'm not going to give up on people that have been good to us. Pat Riley can make his own way out the door. Whenever he wants to go, he can go. I'm not pushing him out the door. I'm not doing what we did to Shula. And we regret it to this day. I'm not doing it to Larinaga, and I'm not doing it to Riley. They've done more than enough to earn our respect and our loyalty. And we've got – you know how Manny Diaz screwed up with Jaron Williams when he threw those 3 interceptions and benched him and went to N'Kosi Perry? And then he learned his lesson when he had to go back to Jaron Williams, who saved his ass. And to Manny's credit, when Jaron stunk out the place early on in the FIU game, he stuck with him. And that's what he was supposed to do. And that's what we got to do with Coach Larinaga. I love Frank Martin, man. When Coach Larinaga wants to hang it up, if you want to go after Frank Martin, I'm all for it. But for now, I'm going to stay steadfast with Jim Larinaga, and I'll stay with Pat Riley. And when Pat Riley wants to turn it in, then we're good. Then you can find the next guy. Sadly, Zach will never get in. Comparable to Nat Moore, Larry Little, Richmond Webb, Lewis Oliver, Duper Clayton, etc. Great Finns, but the world doesn't care. The Duper Clayton thing, I think it's because of the off-the-field stuff, which still doesn't make sense to me. Nat Moore is not a Hall of Famer. I love Nat Moore. He's my favorite Dolphin wide receiver of all time, by the way. He's not a Hall of Famer. Okay? Neither is Lewis Oliver. I hate to burst your bubble, but you know, not every really good Dolphin.
Is that a Gator fan saying that?
Oh, you know what? I did not think of that. That's a really good one right there. If you're a Gator fan, dude, you're a blind ass fan. You know, give me the blind ass fan alert, please. Give me the blind ass fan alert.
Blind ass fan alert. Look out, everyone. We've got a blind ass fan coming through.
Just in case, if you happen to be a Dolphin and a Gator, and you want Louis Oliver and Nat Moore in the Hall of Fame, then yeah, you're definitely a blind-ass fan. Yeah.
Here, Dolphin, Bear, Gator. Trace Armstrong. Get him in there.
Yeah, put him in there. Yeah, no. I'm sorry. I love Nat Moore. He's nowhere near the Hall of Fame. He can buy a ticket to go in and check it out. So can Louis Oliver. But neither one deserve a bust in the Hall of Fame. Wow, dude. That was... Nat Moore, I might even let you slide a little bit with your delusional state. But Louis Oliver?
Reach.
Wow. Man. Whew. Listening to the first hour, you're so right about average QBs looking good with good O-lines. Look at T. Hill in Tennessee, Steven Pensacola. Amen? Yeah. Definitely. That's why it's not you can't approach this offseason with desperation. You have to approach it with intelligence, with patience. You cannot flinch. And I got to tell you something. This is an offseason that you got to feel good about with the Dolphins because you talk about not flinching, okay? Here's Bill O'Brien calling you for Laramie Tunsil and offering you a first-rounder, and you're like, nah, we like Laramie Tunsil. He's ours. All right, I'll give you 2 first-rounders. Nah, we like Laramie Tunsil. He's our guy. Anybody would have already traded Laramie Tunsil for 2 first-rounders. I'll give you 2 first-rounders and a second-rounder. Nah, Laramie's our guy. He didn't flinch. Then they come back with 2 first-rounders, a second, and we'll take Kenny Stills off your roster for $8 million. My man didn't flinch, and he got the deal that he wanted. So I would tell you that I think you've got a chance. You've got a cool customer in Chris Greer that maybe can handle all of this and is not going to panic and draft a quarterback just to draft a quarterback because you need one. No, let's get Justin Herbert because we want to. And if you listen to the interview with Mr. Albright, he gave you one hell of a nugget about Justin Herbert. That's one that kind of and listen, he's a guy that doesn't even get me excited as it is. When I look at Herbert, I just don't see great quarterback. Just because you see 6'6" and 240 or 235, whatever it is that he weighs. And because he's got a big arm. Again, doesn't mean that he's going to be really good. We've watched plenty of guys that are big with big arms, and it doesn't translate to the NFL and becomes a great quarterback. You know?
McGuire, remember that kid?
Yeah. Well, that's too big. He's 6'10". That guy was a tree trunk. And he moved like a tree, too.
Little tidbit of information for your favorite wide receiver, brother.
What's that?
The very first thing Not More ever did as a Miami Dolphin.
A punt return in the Super Bowl. Or kick return.
No, kick return against the Raiders, the Stabler falling down game.
Yeah.
Opening kickoff for a touchdown.
Yeah. Sea of hands.
My dad would have liked to have gone absolutely crazy. He had already purchased his 4th Super Bowl tickets and was ready to go to another one, obviously, 71, 72, 73. And we're going to 74.
There you go.
And Stabler throws that pass and ruined what was actually New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Sea of Hands game, it's called.
Yeah. My aunt lived next door having a New Year's Eve party. And, of course, my dad and my mom was just like, I don't know that we're coming to the New Year's Eve party.
One of the few great lefty quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line at 786-322-1105. We're out here at Caneswear. Brett and all the great people at Caneswear taking care of us. As you can see the sign back there, we broadcast out here every month. They've got big Black Friday deals going on, doorbuster deals, and you're going to be able to save up to 70% this weekend. So they've got all kinds of deals going on right now. So come on out. And every time I come here, there's more stuff. I didn't know there were that many things with the UM logo on it. I didn't know they made that many different things with the UM logo on it. It's truly amazing.
I want you to know, just like I had predicted, there is Christmas stuff.
Yes.
And a lot
Yes.
of really cool Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Canes.
Yep. Tomorrow, while we're waiting for the turkey and everything to get ready, the Bears and the Lions are at 12:30. The Bills and the Cowboys are at 4:30. The Saints are at the Falcons at 8:20. That is actually going to be a good game. I know the Saints suck the Falcons suck because of their record at 3-8, but they've played a lot better as of late. And it's a divisional game. This will be interesting. This one I think will be entertaining between those two. Although I think Julio Jones is banged up for that one. But Bills and Cowboys at 4:30. That Bills fan on social media went viral. I don't know if you guys saw that. And then the Bears and the Lions, that's like a real stinker at 12:30. That's the one that if you ate your turkey early, that game right there will put you to sleep. Normally, that would be the game that you put as the 8:20 game because that's the game that absolutely sucks. It's not an entertaining game. The quarterbacks aren't entertaining. The game should not be entertaining. It's two mediocre teams. It's just watching a great defense feast on a bad quarterback for the Lions. Just a terrible game to have on Thanksgiving Day. These are the moments where you want to flex these bitches out. But I get it. We got to have the Lions on there. I'm so past that. I am so past that we have to have the Lions and the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day. If your team sucks, you shouldn't be on Thanksgiving Day. I mean, there's enough tryptophan going around the country that is putting everybody to sleep. Why do you want to put on a bad football game? Let's flex in really good football games during Thanksgiving so that way that we can fight the tryptophan. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know that in Detroit there is a big talk about boycott the game? Show that you don't care. You're sick of this 50 years of us sucking.
Right.
Straight up.
Well, I mean, but that's the league's fault that they keep scheduling the sorry-ass Lions for us on Thanksgiving Day. And then this year, you're giving us Lions and Bears. Two bad teams. Two boring teams.
Yeah.
There's just there's nothing to watch in that game. It's just watching the Bears defense maul the quarterback for the Lions. That's it. That's all you're going to watch for 4 quarters. It's going to be boring. It's going to be a lame-ass game. It's just, I hate it. We should be past this already. Adam Silver, if he was the commissioner, he would have gotten past this already. He would have no. We'll decide the Thanksgiving Day games 2 weeks out. And that's it. Or 3 weeks out, whatever. Give the teams time to get it set up, and that's it. Or pick perennially good teams. Like pick New England. Like you know they're going to be good, right? So put New England out there. Why not? What's the other team that you certainly could have picked this year? Maybe New Orleans. There you go. New Orleans and New England. Come on. And then flex out everybody else. What the hell?
That's a hell of a game, man.
Yeah. Well,
Breeze, Brady?
Right. There you go. But that's what I'm saying. You gotta get something seriously juicy, like the turkey that you're biting into. That's what you want. Or a little lechon. Because here in South Florida, there are plenty homes that have turkey and lechon. We will not have that. The old lady's not in town. She normally would cook a little lechon because we always have the turkey, and then she cooks like a little piece of lechon, you know? And I got to tell you something. I rarely have the lechon. I have like maybe a little piece or something, but I normally load up on turkey because it's the one day that you load up on the turkey, man, and she does such a great job with the turkey. I don't know what the hell I'm going to get tomorrow. I'm really nervous about the turkey tomorrow.
I'm having really bad news in reference to the honey baked store.
Well, I'm sure they're sold out by now.
Do you like honey baked hams? Because they have the
Oh, they're
best.
great, but I would not have that as my
you
main-
got to have, right.
That's a
yeah,
side
it's-
thing again.
Right,
I
exactly.
gotta have turkey,
yes,
bro.
Yep. Turkey
Yeah,
is Thanksgiving.
I'm Cuban, and I don't really like to have the pork that much tomorrow. I don't. I like to have the turkey tomorrow. I have the pork on Christmas. I have the pork on New Year's, dude. I have pork all the time, but turkey is like one of those. And yeah, I have turkey sandwiches and all that. Stop at Boston Market or whatever. But I'm saying, the day of the turkey meal, I really only do that once a year. I really only do it that one time, and that'll be tomorrow. So I try to limit the pork or the ham. And the honey baked ham is awesome. It is delicious, dude. Love it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes.
The next thing I would suggest,
But it's a complimentary thing for me.
as the backup, because I have
Oh,
had.
no, she got the turkey. She got it from somewhere. I forgot.
I mean, I was going to say the next
No, she
thing
got a turkey.
would be Publix. Publix does a pretty nice job with that whole setup. They do.
Right.
Yeah, I've had it for like office party, blah, whatever type of deal.
I should have told my wife to buy a fried turkey. That might as well, if we're not going to have the old lady's turkey,
man, yes.
then get the fried, because I've never had fried turkey ever in my life. I've never tried it
That
or anything.
stuff is
And
like
everybody
crack. It's like
tells
crack.
me that
you
it's
bite
the
into that,
bomb.
and you'll just, if you sit there by the platter, you'll just keep. Yeah,
I
it's
won't,
bad. It's
I
evil.
won't try to make it because I've heard of too many like explosions and disasters.
You just
and
thaw the turkey out, bro.
Guaranteed it would happen to me. You know, whatever bad could possibly happen, a guy like me that doesn't cook, I would probably suffer from it.
So you'd be the guy like calling the fire department.
For sure. Fourth degree burns. I'm all over my body. That would be me.
No, I'm talking about the house, bro. The house
Well, you
is
got to do it
getting-
outside. You're not supposed
no,
to do it inside
yeah,
either.
but I'm talking about you dropping the frozen turkey, which shoots it into the air.
Yes.
And there's fire. You've seen the commercials.
Yes.
There's fire running from the
Right.
pot up to the driveway, and it catches the driveway on fire. Now the house is on fire. Bada bing.
Beautiful. The Bears, by the way, are favored by 3.5 tomorrow. The over and under is 38.5 in that game. The Cowboys are favored by 6.5 against the Bills. Over and under is 46. That game, I don't know how to feel about that game. I don't want to touch it because the Cowboys shouldn't be trusted. And then I don't trust Josh Allen. But then again, the Bills easily could make this a game and keep it within the 6.5. I think the Cowboys will eke it out only because I think Dak is better and they've got the running game. But that's a weird game. I probably would not trust that game. Saints are favored by 7 at the Falcons, and the over and under is 49. I don't know why, but I want to take the Falcons in that game because of the way the Falcons have played as of late. And that they're playing, and it's a divisional game. I know the Saints are the better team, and they probably will win. But I could see this being a close game where they eke it out with a field goal, and the Saints, just they pick it up. But the Falcons win by the points.
I saw something this morning that Jones
Yes.
is questionable.
Yeah, I know.
He
He's
may
banged
not.
up.
And I got to be honest. They're 3-8. There is no reason if he has anything to play.
Right.
Let's face it.
Yeah, but that's not who he is. That's
No, and
not
that's
what-
exactly what you.
That's not.
Yeah,
he's a character guy.
The
He'll-
guy wants to
Yeah,
play.
he if he can play, he'll go out there to help his team, and that's where I would give him a lot of credit. And remember, folks, we're out here at Caneswear, 2511 South University Drive. Come on out here. They got some great deals going on, great material, all kinds of great shirts and jerseys and hats and you name it, man. Lamp covers, Christmas balls, checkers that are with the hurricane stuff. They got it all. Playing cards, chips. Yeah, they've got poker chips that are hurricane. I'm telling you. Signs. They've got over 100 different T-shirts. You can wear a different Canes T-shirt for 3 months. plus. Come on out here at Canes Store, 2511 South University Drive in Davie. They're going to have sales here up to 70%. They got a clearance rack out here. They got 2 clearance racks that are outside here. So plenty of things. So come on out to Caneswear out here in Davie. We'll be out here for about another 45 minutes, I would say. Something like that. Maybe an hour. So come on out, and we'll be having some fun. Michelle Kaufman is going to join us at the top of the hour. We're going to have a little fun here with Michelle Kaufman at the top of the hour with her Inter-Miami report. Every week we bring on Michelle, and we talk a little Inter-Miami, and we get the latest on what's going on with Inter-Miami. They were able to get some players the last couple of weeks with the expansion draft, and they've got the super draft coming up. With the offseason now gets into full swing. We've got the international players that we still got to decide on who the hell is going to join this team. And the coach, we will find out from Michelle Kaufman who the coach is going to be. Also, Dandy Donuts is a great sponsor of our program, 102 North 28th Avenue in Hollywood. Go see Bobby and all the amazing people out there. Frank, Laura, I'm telling you, the donuts are second to none. The fresh baked muffins, the New York-style bagels, and the bagels from pumpernickel to onion to garlic to poppy seed, sesame seed, and plain. The donuts, man, they've got the filled donuts, whether it's the Boston cream, the guava and cheese, the jelly sticks, the blueberry, the strawberry, the apple and spice, the Oreo, the cake donuts, the plain cruller, the buttermilk. I could just tell you about all these donuts, the glazed donuts where they use real honey. They serve a delicious breakfast and lunch. 102 North 28th Avenue in Hollywood, right off of Hollywood Boulevard and I-95. You go east about 3 blocks. It's on the north side right next to Miami Subs. Tell them that Big O sent you. And check it out on Instagram, dandy_Hollywood. And only the Hollywood location. Go to dandyhollywood.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SCT, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Welcome back.
This is the Big O Show.
We're going to talk to Michelle Kaufman now. You know, every week we do it here. Our Inter-Miami segment here on the program with Michelle Kaufman, as always. And you can follow her on Twitter at Kauf Sports. And you can catch her work, of course, at the Miami Herald website. We always love having Michelle on. She always does a great job for us, and especially for you guys out there as Inter-Miami fans. You got to love having Michelle on, man. She just brings it every time, always has great information for us, which is always a beautiful thing. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, the other way to reach out to us is on Twitter at Big O Show and Instagram Big O Radio Show. That's the other way to reach out to us. And, of course, on the YouTube chat board, if you're watching on YouTube, you can always chat away, send in your questions and comments and complaints and insults and all kinds of good stuff there. Are we?
We're in a bit of a holding pattern in relation to Michelle, sir.
Oh, okay. All right, we're trying to get in contact with her? Okay. All right, good stuff. We'll try to get in contact with Michelle. The other thing before we get to Michelle that I saw that I thought was pretty cool, those of you that are Greta Van Fleet fans like myself, I read where my boy Joshua was interviewed, Joshua Kiska, the lead singer for Greta Van Fleet, and they're going to have a new album in early 2020. It says, this is from ultimateclassic.com, says Greta Van Fleet singer Joshua Kiska said the band is aiming to release its second album in early 2020 after they poured everything into the work. Their acclaimed debut album, Anthem of a Peaceful Army, was released in 2018. Previously stated that the new LP was scheduled to arrive this year, but Kiska outlined the updated plan in a new interview with Kerrang! Magazine. It's intended to be a full release, a full album, he said, for about 2 months. In the heart of the summer of this year, we really poured everything into writing and recording, and we're hoping that sometime earlier next year we'll be able to put it out. Asked if Greta Van Fleet had something to prove with their second full-length release, he replied, honestly, the way we approach our music is that we're writing it for anybody who has any reason to listen to it. We're creating something simply for the sake of making a work of art that we're proud of and that we ourselves like to listen to. He noted that he doesn't think that they're set out to prove anything particularly, but to point out that some things about the world and our society, there are some of those elements to this album, and it's the next step. I think it's the evolution and the sound of this band. Earlier this year, guitarist Jay Kiska said the new music would include more outlandish stuff than their previous output. after bassist Sam Kiska noted that the band found themselves going places that they'd never been before, literally and figuratively, touring the world, seeing Japan, seeing Australia, and having all these new experiences. The colors of our mind get put into the record like that, he explained. This only skyrockets our creativity because we get to see so many beautiful things that we've never seen before. So personally, for myself, of course, I am looking forward to the new Greta album in early 2020. So right around the corner. How about that? A lot of new things, right? We got the new show going on. In the new year, we'll be out at the East-West Shrine. We'll be out at the Senior Bowl. We'll be out at the Combine a couple months later. We'll be out at the draft also in Vegas. We are set for that. So all kinds of new. And we'll have a new album from Greta. I love it. I know what I'll be jamming on the plane rides to all these places. I'll be jamming a little Greta. I'm looking forward to that. It's actually pretty cool. I saw there were a couple of music stories that caught my eye today, and I figured, you know what, maybe at one point or another in the show I can talk. I wasn't really going to talk much music because we were going to do Michelle and probably wrap it up on the show, and that was done, and maybe I would save this for tomorrow's podcast. But with Michelle, we're trying to contact her. How about this story? Who guitarist Pete Townsend expressed gratitude that late drummer Keith Moon and bassist John Entwistle are no longer in the band. He recalled how they were effing difficult to play with. Now, he also noted he has more affection than ever for singer Roger Daltrey as they prepare to release their new album December 6th called Who. It's not going to make Who fans very happy, but thank God they're gone, Townsend told Rolling Stone in a new interview, because they were effing difficult to play with. They never, ever managed to create bands for themselves. I think my musical discipline, my musical efficiency as a rhythm player held the band together. He noted that Entwistle's bass sound was like an organ. Every note, every harmonic in the sky. When he passed away, and I did the first few shows without him, with Pino on bass, he was playing without all that stuff. And I said, wow, I have a job. With Keith, my job was keeping time because he didn't do that. So when he passed away, it was like, oh, I didn't have to keep time anymore. Townsend recalled that he used to love Daltrey. He used to say that he loved Daltrey with my fingers crossed. Now I like him too, he said. I like his eccentricities, his self-obsession, his singer things, everything about him. He went on to recall a moment during the recording of the band's 73 classic album Quadrophenia that he did a version of Love Rain on Me, which was like wailing banshee screaming. Townsend explained, I turned to my engineer, Ron Nevinson, and I said, this is a kid on a rock. He's wet. He's cold. He had the most awful day of his life. Everything's gone. The last thing he's going to do is scream out. He's going to whimper. On being persuaded to listen again, Townsend said, Roger was in the booth. I couldn't see him. I was hearing it from the mixing desk. And then I listened back and I thought, he nailed it. He nailed it. Because this is an internal voice. He becomes an actor. It's almost like in his late 50s, early 60s, a method actor. When you say, here's the script, he goes, oh, okay. And the directors go, for effing sake, just say the words. How about that? That's some crazy stuff that Townsend would say. That you're like, glad you don't have to play with Entwistle and Moon?
I was going to say, a lot of people consider Keith Moon one of the greatest drummers behind. Yeah.
Entwistle's one of the greatest bassists, period. Period. Entwistle's bass play is amazing, bro.
Can we just say maybe good quality drugs here?
Well, no.
Some resentment?
Pete Townsend's been known to be kind of an a-hole as it is. So
there you go.
So it's like
it hasn't left him. He's still an a-hole.
two of his legendary bandmates are dead, and it's like you're glad
Here,
they're not
let's
around.
go crap on him, right?
And it's so classless to say that. It's just so wrong for him to say that at even if you didn't get along with the person, just let it be, man. I mean, that's like a ultimate trash, dude. To say, you could say you didn't get along with somebody that passed away, but to say that you're happy they're no longer around, that's wow. That's an extreme you just don't want to ever touch. And I'm sure there are Who fans now that they're going to be really pissed off to hear that. And they're going to resent it, actually.
It's compounded by the fact that these people have passed away.
Yeah.
And to do this.
Yeah.
It's totally classist, totally tasteless.
I mean, wow. That's it. But again, we're talking about, and Townsend's had his own troubles too, by the way, in the past. You know, with that whole child pornography thing that went on years ago with him. I don't know if he really had it or there was like an alleged thing, or I forgot how that whole story went. But he's had his share too. And he's been known to be kind of an a-hole. And what you just did there was just prove it, that you're an a-hole. Now, Keith Moon was a maniac. Everybody knew he was a maniac. He was a party maniac. And he was a typical rock star that would trash the hotel rooms and all that good stuff. But he was a great drummer, and he was part of the legend that is the Who. Okay? And so is John Entwistle. And to think that, or to even say that you're glad that those guys aren't around, I mean, man. Wow. That is crazy. So what do we got with...
I haven't gotten a response, man.
We haven't gotten anything from Michelle? Okay. All right.
You know what? Did Inter Miami tell her, hey, you could go on vacation?
I don't know.
I know we've been talking about that, since September, right?
Yeah.
And she was thinking sometime after Halloween.
Right.
You know, we're cruising casually into December.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe she went on vacation, bro.
Yeah. Maybe she went, but she told me she was fine for today. I mean, I checked with her yesterday. So it was, so maybe she got caught up with something, and that's all, Who knows?
Let me try one more time, sir.
Right. Okay. All right. We will try Michelle Kaufman one more time.
You know what? We're in charge of the show. We can do whatever we want, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. I mean, there's nothing, it's not a big deal. I mean, it happens. She's on with us every week, so if maybe she got caught up with it, that's fine. I'll give you another story that I saw in Music News that was kind of cool. U2 and the Stones, okay, are the biggest touring bands of the decade. Yep. U2 and Rolling Stones were named the biggest grossing bands of the past decade. U2 was the only one to top $1 billion in income from the road during that period. Below them are Bon Jovi, Paul McCartney, and Bruce Springsteen appeared among Pollstar's top 15. Ed Sheeran and Taylor Swift overall in second and third positions. So U2 was number 1, Ed Sheeran 2, Taylor Swift was number 3. Between them, rock bands brought in more than $7.5 billion between 2010 and 2019. The top 15, okay? It says, capturing box office data is daily fare for Pollstar, and since 2010, they've seen the growth in practically every aspect of live entertainment business. The report noted with an average of ticket prices have risen 38% from 2010 and an average gross per show showing 87% climb over the past 10 years. It's full steam ahead. U2 stands alone as the only touring artist to eclipse $1 billion, according to Pollstar box office records, with $1,038 million grossed and 500,000 tickets sold in 255 shows. The report added that the band's current tour might add another 600,000 in sales to the total after U2's second-breaking 360 tour from 2009 to 2011, which very recently resigned as the largest tour ever with more than 735 million grossed. The band and its team was already looking forward, but had a massive task on its hand figuring out what to do next. At the end of 360, having done the biggest that they ever seen, wouldn't it be great to start the next tour under a single light bulb? Show designer Willie Williams said, and of course, this was particularly a joke, but it gave us some sort of creative window, and the light bulb became such a symbol of that tour and the story. All right, top 15 grossing bands in the last decade. U2 number 1, The Stones are number 2, Ed Sheeran number 3, Taylor Swift number 4, Beyonce 5, Bon Jovi 6, Paul McCartney 7, Coldplay 8, Bruce Springsteen 9, Roger Waters 10, Elton John 11, Metallica 12, Guns N' Roses 13, The Eagles 14, and One Direction 15. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know what? I'm going to go 9 because Elton John doesn't count. I'll go 9 rock bands are out of 15. Because Elton John is pop, right? Well, you can't call Elton John rock. You got to call him pop, right? I mean, early stuff early stuff can be like soft rock, but later stuff is he's really more pop.
Oh yeah,
right. So 9 of the 15 are rock bands, and then you got Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Coldplay, and Elton John as your pop bands. There you go. How about that?
Yeah, the one in there that I haven't seen is Coldplay. I got to get that checked.
Yeah, they're
that
good.
box has got to get checked.
Well, I mean, you've seen Taylor Swift?
I was talking about the rock bands, bro.
Okay.
Come on,
I didn't put them in rock. I put them in the pop side.
Really?
Yeah, Coldplay's pop. They're not rock.
Indie.
They're not rock.
Dude, they're so not rock, but they're not pop. They're such a mix. It depends on the song.
Yeah, but
it depends on the song.
They're pop, bro. They're not really being
played. They're still awesome.
They're not really being played on rock stations. They're played on pop stations. Like if you had,
they're played on indie stations.
Yeah, but they're not
alternative.
But they wouldn't be played on Zeta. They wouldn't be played.
Okay.
They're not played on
you know
Big.
What, you
they're
know
not played
they're
on the Gator.
Wait a minute. They're played on alternative rock, music things.
Not on Lithium.
Your TV.
Not on Lithium and Sirius. They wouldn't be played there. They wouldn't be played in classic rock. They wouldn't
I said
be played
alternative. When you say alternative rock, you will hear Coldplay on alternative rock stations. Yes.
Yeah, but it's like but it's not the alternative you're thinking of. It's poppy alternative. You know, it's not rock alternative. That's the thing. I just don't put them in that edge. I like Coldplay, by the way. I don't mean it in. Just by the way, I don't mean by any derogatory sense.
I'm glad you're clarifying that.
Yeah. I just think I like Coldplay. I own their music, dude. I bought their CDs. I have their CDs. I like Coldplay.
They're good, man.
They're good.
And you know what I like about them?
I got no interest in Taylor Swift, Beyonce, and One Direction on that list.
Coldplay's very diverse, man.
I actually want to see Ed Sheeran. I like Ed Sheeran.
I mean, that's one thing you got to say about Coldplay, right?
What?
They got a wide range.
Yeah.
Their music is like U2.
Super talented.
They go to a very, very wide spectrum.
No, super talented. Super talented. No doubt about it. I just don't look at them as a rock band. You know, that's the only thing. I just can't see them in that sense, in that light. Oh, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. How you doing, my brother?
I am doing good. Just crazy.
Brett is here.
Yes.
I'm in the house.
You're in the house? Give him a mic there a second. Get on the mic a second here, Brett. No, just... There you go. There you go. All right, so what do we got? What do we got going on? Is his mic potted up there? Okay, there we go now. So what do we got this weekend? Because I know we've got deals up to 70% going on at Caneswear.
Yeah, starting on Black Friday, we've got a lot of specials going on. We've got up to 70%. A lot of things going to be going on. A sneak peek only to the Big O listeners right now. We're going to have some amazing sales. I'm going to tell you that some things are going to be 40% off that you're dying for. So pretty much 40 to 70% off on quite a bit of the store, but everything in the store will be on sale for Friday. For Black Friday, we're going to have some doorbusters. And have there's one item that's $140. It will be for $49.95 for a limited time. We're going to do a lot of other great sales, so make sure you get here at Caneswear. Everybody knows where we're at in Davie, 2511 South University Drive in Davie. We're opening at 10 a.m., so 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come on by, check out the internet. Lots of store deals all the time, or lots of sales all weekend long. So keep checking every day. New deals will be popping up.
It's a beautiful thing. There you go. And Brett, if they can also go online, because some people may not be able to get here. I always say if they live in Homestead or Hope Sound or out of state.
Like that. Mm-hmm.
I always tell them that they can, $99 or more. It's free shipping.
Absolutely, Big O. $99 or more free shipping. Always at Caneswear, even on these unbelievable sale prices. So we're going to do that. And so we're online, Caneswear.com. You can see the latest things you'll always see on Twitter at Canes_wear, at Canes_wear. Instagram at Caneswear at Miami Fanwear. Facebook, Caneswear at Miami Fanwear. So just check us out, and we're always going to be, there's a lot of great things going on. So we're very pumped. We got, like Big always tells, we got Panthers as well.
Yes.
A lot of Panther stuff. Probably.
And the Inter Miami's about to get here, too.
It's about to kick off. March.
The jerseys.
The jerseys are going to be coming after the year.
2,000
we
jerseys?
got quite a bit of jerseys coming. That awesome black and pink, white and pink. That's awesome. They're going to be huge.
Those Inter Miami jerseys are going to blow off this place. I mean,
we totally expect it. We totally expect it, Big O.
Oh, yes. No doubt. No doubt
about it. All right, so we appreciate it. We love that you're here on a beautiful day.
We love being here every month. Yeah, man, it's nice and cool today.
It is a beautiful day. And
no humidity today.
No humidity. This is why people come to South Florida.
Yes.
I'd always say from like late October to March, we got the best weather in the country.
I'm with you all the way.
There's no shoveling out your driveway here.
Yeah. No,
so I want to wish everybody a happy, healthy Thanksgiving. I know it's all about Black Friday and Cyber Monday and Small Business Saturday and all that, but we always forget it's Thanksgiving, and just we're thankful for all of our wonderful customers. We're thankful for all of our family, for Big O, for our relationship for several years now. Go back
many
and
years.
So
you've been a sponsor of ours for I don't know, like 7-8 years.
Yeah, so it's been a while. So it's we're excited. It's a great relationship. We love the way the podcast is going. It's phenomenal.
Okay, now let me ask you something. When are you moving again?
Well, we're going to see. We definitely sometimes need a bigger store. So we'll see. For right now, we're right here.
This is the second year you're in this store.
We just started our second year, exactly.
And every time I come in this place, it has more things, and you're almost tapping it out already.
Absolutely, yeah. We are definitely bursting
I just told the folks,
seams.
when are you guys going to move again?
We're trying
to a bigger store.
We're trying to build up. Like those old Macy's stores, we're going to have a second and third floor here going on. We'll just keep going up, and especially with soccer coming and some other things, the way the Heat are playing, the Panthers. There's a lot of excitement going on in South Florida
Maybe
right now.
you do a Caneswear, and then you got to move on to Heatwear.
Yes, we'd have to look at that. And,
or Inter Miami.
Inter Miami, we definitely think we may need a whole store for that.
I think Inter is the one that's going to explode.
Yeah, I'm excited about Inter. We're going very deep on that.
That
so
is going to be amazing.
There'll be a lot of pink added to the store, that's for sure.
And it's interesting you bring that up because you have a gentleman behind you named Gabe Gabor who works for the MLS.
Hello, Gabe. How you doing? Nice to see you.
There you go. So he's in the MLS.
Well, that's awesome. So he's in the MLS. So we're very excited.
Yes.
I know it's.
I worked for him.
Oh,
for
really?
the Fusion.
Oh, wow.
He was my boss.
Wow.
For the Miami Fusion.
Look at that.
Yes.
So you excited?
That's my boss right there.
The Inter Miami team. It's going to be on a roll. Everybody's pumped. So it's Well, that's cool.
There you go.
So yeah, we're very pumped about this. Adidas is pumped. We're pumped. It's going to be very, very exciting.
Oh, this time it's going because we actually have real owners.
Yes.
Ken Horowitz just totally screwed the pooch the last time around back in the day. Wait, I know you can't say that, Gabe, but I can say that, bro. I can be objective and say that the guy knew nothing about soccer and was charging people $40 to go see Digital Takawita. Okay? And only you and I get that joke. Anyway, so that was a really mediocre soccer player, and they were overcharging in that first year. So, yes.
Well, I remember the Miami Toros way back when.
Hey, man.
Most people don't. I mean,
Yes.
you know, that was before the Strikers, right?
Yes.
It was the Miami Toros. Who do we have? We have Cabillas, he was on the Strikers.
Yes.
Yeah,
Cabillas, Cabillas didn't make it to the Toros.
He never made it to. So we had
Strikers.
We had Steve.
I have his damn jersey.
Steve Davis. Steve.
Is it Dave? No, it's not Davis, but it's kind of like that.
Yeah. He was our star.
I have his damn jersey.
Really? Okay.
Toros. I have a Toros jersey.
So that
with
Toros
him.
team.
Damn, what is his name now? He scored like 25, 26
good,
goals in
yeah.
a season.
He was awesome.
No, I'm telling you, I'm not even off by much. Steve David.
That's
Steve
it.
David.
So there you go. So Steve David.
Yeah.
It's Steve and David. Yes, that was the time. I think who played in that league also. There was quite a few superstars.
Yes.
In that league.
I was my
Did they get Pele? Who'd they get?
No, not in. No, wait. Pele was in the NASL.
Yes.
Pele was in the NASL.
Didn't they play the Miami Toros or whatever at the Orange Bowl?
No, but that was the Strikers. Strikers. Yes.
Strikers they played?
That was the
Okay.
Strikers era. The Toros era, Pele was still tearing up the rest of the world.
Okay.
When we had the Toros and the
Yes.
and the Gatos.
Yeah, there was the Cosmos were huge.
Remember, we had the Gatos and then the Toros.
Yes. Okay. The Gatos.
Right. It went
So
from Gatos to Toros.
But it's been a long line of soccer teams, and they've been on the brink. But I think now, with everything changing, I think it's going to be huge.
Yeah. In fact, I'm looking for the picture. I have a picture of me in a Steve David jersey from the Toros, and I'm there with Beckham and Moss celebrating their whole thing when they got awarded the team and all that stuff, and there was a big old celebration. I went in my Toros jersey that night for that celebration, and that's why I was so pissed that I couldn't remember David's name.
Yes,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Well, whatever. Anyway, that might be something that you guys, once you get the Inter jerseys, you like have a little section of Striker Toros, and people would buy.
Throwback.
People will come back and buy a throwback
Toros.
Toros,
That's it. Yes.
a Striker or whatever, because you do a Ray Hudson Strikers jersey.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And people will buy that because the like people like if you had Toros jerseys here, I would buy one.
Mm-hmm. The throwback, the Miami Floridian stuff sold. So why
yeah,
not the
right
Miami
in basketball.
Toros?
That's
yes.
right, exactly.
Matt Calvin, Larry
Right.
Jones in those days, Warren Jabali.
And the good stuff for you also here at Caneswear is that you're right down the street early on from this thing.
I love
breaking
that.
out.
We love that. We were blessed. Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And I'm still wondering if it'll ever get to Miami. You know that, Brett? I'm still wondering if
I
that
agree.
thing,
I agree on that. I don't know if it will.
because we
It's,
screw so many things up in Dade County that and Fort Lauderdale obviously rolled out the red carpet and let them do whatever they want, and they're going to build that and they're going to set it up in a way to protect themselves that if they have to stay there, they got to make sure that that building has those amenities.
You think so? They're building that pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Similar to the tennis courts, correct? That they built at the Hard Rock. Isn't
Well,
it the same
like-
building team?
Like I told my friend 2 days ago, it told me when he went by, he goes, man, they're building it fast. I go, private construction.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's
Yes.
all you need to know.
Exactly.
Because if it was our taxpayer money after that, they would have one pylon there. That's it. Nothing else would be there.
True. Good point.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just
So this will be, so if that could be long term, why not? If the people come and it's right off the highway,
Yeah.
not hard to get, right down the block from
But
Canesville.
that-
We're excited.
I'm telling you, when you get your Inter shirts, throw in a couple of Toros and,
I'd like to get that.
and Striker stuff.
I'll
and
see if we can get it.
I don't know if you can find Gatos. That might be a
Gatos,
little
yeah,
tough.
that could be tough.
Because that was a short-lived one. It was only a year or two, and then the Toros were for a few years. And that's the one we kind of know more. You know what I mean? But I have a Gatos shirt actually.
Really?
Oh
Wow.
yeah. It's a purple and white shirt with the logo. I know I have a picture of it and everything that I take it, but yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I think would sell too.
No, I think that would be throwbacks. I will call and see if we can get some of that throwback stuff made. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
All right,
so
all
we're
right,
pumped.
Brett. So this weekend, take advantage,
This
folks.
weekend, take advantage. The big Caneswear Black Friday weekend sale. But Friday, there's going to be a lot. Every day is going to be different specials. But Friday kicks it off because that's the day. Come into the store in Davie or shop online, caneswear.com. Check out. If you're not on our rewards list, go to caneswear.com
That's right.
now. Go. You'll see a little box on the bottom that says exclusive rewards and benefits. Join that. People get money back all the time on their purchases. So
That's
check
right.
that out. So a lot of great things happening. We're pumped.
Build
We're
up
very
them
pumped.
points, baby.
Absolutely. Build those points.
No doubt. And you
All
got
right.
those new Adidas sneakers, too, in,
Yes,
right?
those nice new Adidas sneakers. Exactly. So those are hot. The new championship jacket we just released with the 5
yes.
championship, that's been really hot as well.
Yes.
So lots of really cool items. We just got some new boxes. Everyday boxes, like Christmas, Hanukkah, every day here at Caneswear.
right.
Boxes coming every day.
I don't know where you're fitting all
I
this
know.
stuff,
That's
dude.
what we're doing.
I mean, you had practice from the other store getting creative.
Exactly.
So now you got more space. But
Yes.
I'm telling you, you're going to have to move again soon.
Yeah, so you've been to the warehouse, you know that in the
Yes.
old days that we just moved there. So it's getting like that now. So come on by. We're going to take care of you, and we look forward to seeing you. And again, happy, healthy Thanksgiving to everybody listening.
Brett, thank you, my brother.
Thank you, Big O. We
You got
appreciate
Thank
it.
you for the sponsorship,
Thank
too,
you. My
as always,
pleasure.
and the friendship more than anything. Thank you. Go, Bill. All right, good stuff as always, Brett, taking care of the folks out there, out here at Caneswear. So come on out and get it done. I'm telling you, if he adds those throwback soccer jerseys, a Toros jersey, a Toros Steve David jersey, and it is awesome. I love that. Every time I go out in that jersey, and I've only worn it maybe 4 times, I think, in the last few years, but every time I go out in it, it's usually older people, of course, because you've got to have a little, a little history in this town to know what the Toros are all about. But whenever I wear it, people are like, oh, man, that is so cool, Toros jersey. I haven't seen that in forever, that kind of stuff.
I was trying to correlate. God, I think it was 6, 7, 8 years old, playing my first soccer years.
Gato's jersey, right?
As a
The
kid.
Gato's shirt. There's my Miami Gato's shirt.
We went to an exhibition game or something at the Orange Bowl and got
Uh-huh.
to see the New York Cosmos, the Pele,
Oh,
play
yeah.
whoever was the
Yeah.
local,
Yeah.
and I wanted to say it was the Toros.
Yeah, well, here's,
Because I was like 6, 7, 8 years old
There
at
you
the
go.
Orange Bowl.
that's my Toros jersey right there with David Beckham and Jorge Mas. There you go. That's my Steve David jersey right there.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's why it's. But I'm a hometown guy, and I've seen all these teams, so it's something that's close to me. All these kind of things. I have the throwback. I have the striker jerseys, and Toros, and now Miami FC, or the original Miami FC, by the way, not the one that I have. Those two, the newer Miami FC version, but I have the original Miami FC, the blue and white one, before Tim Robbie turned them back into the Strikers again and rebranded the team. But I'm one of those guys that I kind of collect all that kind of stuff, the local stuff. I'm going to see if Gabe comes back here, Gabe Gabor, who is a PR director for the MLS. And he was here for a little bit. I bet you he went to La Spada. I think that's what he did. I think he was
Really?
here.
He could have taken my order, man.
I think that's what Gabe was doing. He went over to La Spada. That's going to be my guess. It's usually
It's a really good guess and really smart move.
Yes. You know what? Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up here on the show. We thank all of you, of course, for checking in with us and following and subscribing and downloading. We appreciate it immensely. We can't tell you enough about how much we appreciate it. Bill, as always, excellent
Hey, man.
work by you
Awesome.
getting it done.
Yes.
John Cassio also, both producers on this show, always getting it done. Everybody working hard.
Good work,
Thank you, sir. We try to get by. We thank Brett, of course, Brett Gittleman out here, Caneswear. And remember, great sales going on this weekend. What is the item that's going to go from $140 to $49? That's awesome. But anyway, up to 70% off on Black Friday deals. They've got stuff going on, doorbusters. The place is absolutely loaded. Not just Canes. They've got Dolphins. They've got Panthers. They've got Miami Heat. They've got Inter Miami shirts. They've got even Marlins. So they've got all kinds of stuff, and they'll have all kinds of sales. So come on down to Caneswear, and we thank them, and we thank all of you for tuning in whenever you download this podcast. We love you for it. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll have another one for you, Thanksgiving edition of the podcast.
Happy Thanksgiving. Have a safe holiday, everybody.
That's right. Enjoy that turkey and fight that tryptophan.